Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Girl, ain't that much damn studying in the world. I'm convinced. Cause I don't even be going live that much no more, honey. That much study in the world. You could take a break. Hey y'all, Tuli. Cinnamon toast. Come on, toasty. Thank you, Lex. Y'all, oh my goodness. I meant to go live for my birthday like I did last year, but let me tell y'all want to hear about my birthday shenanigans. Woo, because it was lit. My birthday, I had like a really good time. Like I brought in my 30s the right way. So hold on, let me go ahead and share this live stream and then I'm gonna tell y'all we're gonna get into a story time. So as the title of this stream suggests, this is gonna be a live stream. I mean, technically it's dedicated to the Sagittarius eclipse that is supposed to be happening, but we're gonna talk about a montage of things. We're gonna be giving a plethora of items to talk about tonight. We're gonna go there. So if y'all got some things y'all want to talk about, let's do it. Reading celebrity birth charts, the whole nine. Okay. Thank you, thank you. My birthday was last Sunday, so my birthday was on the 28th. It was on the 28th, but you know, it's just Sagittarius. I'll still be celebrating. Hence why I'm drinking, why I'm partaking in my favorite beverage. A little vodka. Vodka is not my favorite beverage. I'm tripping. The only reason I'm drinking this vodka is because it's when I went into the liquor store today, there was like a lady doing like the little samples, and she had her own black owned vodka, you know, brand that I wanted to support. But let me go ahead and share this live stream and we can just hop right on into the itinerary and get this night rocking and rolling. So y'all grab a drink, grab a blunt if you smoke, I mean, or if you want to grab your snacks, which is very Sagittarius season. It's festive, indulge, relax, enjoy, have fun. Okay. So hold on, let me share. Y'all like that Yo Gotti? Rest in peace to dog though. Rest in peace to dog. But I didn't even realize how much I liked that big headed ass nigga until recently. Like Yo Gotti's mixtape. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me which one is it? CM7, The World Is Yours. It came out back in 2012. I didn't realize how much I liked it until recently. Because I used to play that shit out when it came out. I'm like, this blockhead ass nigga might be on to something. Okay. Yes, Dolph was a Sagittarius moon. And I thought it was so cute that he had that song Preach. Like he was actually very, very Sagittarian in nature. Everything from like the the religious, he had a lot like of different religious references in his music and his videos and stuff like that. He was also very generous, very giving. You could also attribute that to him being a Leo as well. You know what I mean? But a lot of Sagittarian placements, and this could be applicable for sun, moons. A lot of them like to live their lives by a moral code, you know. And you could tell he was definitely one of those types of people. Yes, get the blunt. I like the sample in this one. This is actually my favorite song off the album. Hey, hey. I'm trying to play shit that won't get my channel dinged. What a lot of squares to the moon can make a person be like, because Nikki got a lot of squares to her Virgo moon. Well, if somebody with a lot of squares to my moon as well, I'll say this, okay? Because our moon governs our subconscious mind, our emotions, um, our personal experiences, and maybe the way that we, personally experience the world, a lot of what we internalize. A lot of personality disorders could come from that. I've seen a lot of people with like various types of personality disorders with highly afflicted moons. Um, a lot of emotional issues regulating your own emotions, family problems. Um, yeah, but mostly mental health issues. So is the short answer. Is the short answer. And Nicki Minaj, we got the same sun and moon. So I mean, I know I'll be going through it, so I can only imagine. Same thing with DMX. He was a Sag Sun Virgo moon as well. You love the live I did with my brother. Well, my brother was unavailable this year. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. You lost your mom the day before Halloween. Jesus, I'm sorry, Tuli. I'm sorry, I'm just not getting to that comment. I'm so sorry. Y'all send your loving and healing energy to Tuli. You know what I mean? And especially as a Cancer, the link between a person and their mother could be incredibly strong. So, I can't imagine what that's like. I don't want to imagine what I'm really sorry about that. For real. And just know that like I would for sure keep you in my thoughts and my prayers. You know what I'm saying? We here to uplift you because that's not easy. And it's okay to not be okay. So yeah, go ahead, roll you a big one. Put that shit in the air. How I feel about being 30, I feel good. Like I feel better than I thought I would. I'm embracing my Capricorn North Node, getting older, realizing like coming face to face with my mortality and understanding and like, what I'm saying? That's a part of life. Aging is a part of the life cycle. It's a part of like the life process and it's okay. But I honestly don't even really feel that different. And not even to try to be funny and to my own horn, I don't look 30. I mean, and it's okay if you do look 30, right? But I just don't. And when I look at my mom and I look at like my biological father, I have a lot of confidence that I will age very well. In tandem with, a nice healthy diet, lots of water. Um, I in terms of how I feel good. I don't if anything, I feel like I have because I've been going through my Saturn return, I have more excuse me, focus and direction in terms of like where I want my life to go, like, what I want my future to look like, that kind of thing. But aside from that, I don't feel excuse me, 30 don't feel different than my 20s. I'll still be popping my pussy severely. I'll still be taking your nigga and giving him back on the weekends, like SZA said. It's all the same. On the weekend, you like 9 to 5 on the weekend. No, make him lose his mind every weekend. You take Wednesday, Thursday, and just send them my way. I think I got it covered for the weekend. Revisit Nikki. We can. We can revisit her chart. What's her 21? Because when I turned 30, even though people think I'm 16, I feel like right. Yes, yeah, yeah. It does. You just I don't know. I feel kind of young too. And you actually look good. I mean, and let me stop saying that because let's be clear. I think it's not appropriate to start saying that people look good for their age until they get in their 40s. Because y'all young hoes, the minute a bitch turns to like I was even looking at the shade room because you know we share the internet with and I had to realize that even when I do my analytics, right? A lot of my viewership, even a lot of my clients are actually very young. A lot of y'all are giving Pluto Sag. A lot of y'all are giving me 19, 20, 21, 22. That's fine. But I want y'all to understand something, okay? Bitch, I ain't your auntie. Not at 30. I'm not. I'm not your auntie at 30, bitch. We too close in age. I'll be your big sister. I'm not your auntie. People is not old at 30. Not old enough to actually be showing their age. Now I do know some people who look worn and tattered and distraught in their 30s. But though that's not normal. Okay? When you do see people who are visibly aging and aging very badly in their 30s, that's because either they're just unfortunate, they ain't living right, or maybe they white. You know, white people age horribly. So there's that. But as for black people, let's not do that. Like, let's not see somebody turn 30, 31, 32 and be like, you look good for your age. Bitch, what the fuck am I supposed to look like? Huh? Huh? What am I supposed to look like? Because what does it look like to be 30 versus 25? Like when JT had her birthday yesterday, right? I was in the shade room and everybody's like, oh, JT, she's 29. She's 29. I thought she was 25. You're literally describing a 4-year difference. I thought she was 25, but she's 29. She looks good. What's she gonna look like in them 4 years that you was off when you thought she was 25, but now you find out she's 29? What's she supposed to look like? Curious. And so I'm just very curious for a lot of you Gen Zers to turn 30, like in the next 10 years. I can't wait to see you old hoes. And what the fuck y'all looking like? Uh-huh. But don't get me started. So let me just move along. It changed your life, Sha? CM7 changed your life? Yo Gotti is handsome. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I never looked at it like that. Yo Gotti definitely looks like he's giving me blockhead. It's giving, you know what I'm saying, Peebo Lobby. What's his name? Peebo Lobby got more head than he got body. That's what he's giving. I never looked at it that way. He's not really cute. I mean, no ways to make some money. Come on, Stash Stop. No. Thank you for the super chat. Hold on, I haven't let me see your comment because I haven't scrolled all the way down yet. I was just thinking about the weekend song by SZA. What do I think about the Tristan Trimester Thompson? I don't really think much. We can go over his chart. I did a reading on Tristan third trimester Thompson, maybe a few years ago. If y'all have been on sticking with the channel for a while, I just think we need to stop. Like, I would like for the world, and myself included, because I made the mistake of trying to procreate and have a family with a Cancer South Node man. Especially because since I'm a Cancer South Node, my goddamn self, but that's a different story. Men with that Cancer South Node, and as well as that afflicted Cancer South Node, let's stop doing that, okay? Tristan has Chiron conjunct his Cancer South Node. He's not supposed to be a family man. The only thing he knows how to do is hurt women and leave a trail of broken families along the way. So that, in short, that's pretty much how I feel about that. Southern Hood said I look. Southern Hood chick said I look 30. What the fuck you look like? Cause you be in this chat talking about you ugly. Every fucking line. What the fuck you look like? I don't look 30. I mean, not to say that 30 is old, but bitch, I look younger than that. So, but what you can do is drop a photo and let's see what you look like and see why you be crying every live stream. Crying so bad. Astro World, Astro WERLD at gmail.com. They say death goes in threes. I guess my dad came back and got her, then my brother 2 weeks. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a lot of loss. You up there with Keisha Cole, ain't it? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Because that's a lot to go through. All it, like, especially all in one time. So I'm glad you're here. And I really do appreciate you spending your time with me tonight, even in the midst of you going through all that you're going through. Girl, whatever. It's whatever, bitch. It's whatever, ho. Y'all remember that song? It's whatever, bitch. It's whatever. Right. 30 is not old at all. It's really not. That's what she gets for getting with a man that has somebody pregnant. It's disgusting. I don't feel bad for Chloe either. I don't feel bad for that white woman. I am well behaved tonight, y'all. What are you talking about? I know nothing of the sort. I let my crazy ex go and I found I was pregnant. Abort mission. So you went to the baby chop shop? Thank you, superficial. So you went to the baby chop shop? Did you have the baby? Because y'all know, I mean, let me not. I'm not advocating one thing or another. You know what I'm saying? I am pro-choice, so and I do realize there are consequences, emotional, spiritual, however you want to get into it, based on however you feel about abortion and whatever. But you know, coming from the vantage point of someone, especially if you're in your 20s, I am one of those women who I'm a really big advocate of living your life child free for as long as you can, especially while you're in your 20s. Living your life for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Attaining everything that you want to attain in your career, traveling, living well, doing all those things, getting all those things out of the way first. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of women, when they go through things, they want everybody else to be miserable or they want to push the same things on you so they don't feel lonely. But even as like as a mother and a young woman who had a child very young while I was barely in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? I don't regret what I've done, but I will say at the same time, if I could do it over, I would do it different. So for all my young women out there, if you have the chance, if you have the opportunity to be child free for as long as possible, please, girl, if it means you got to run to the baby chop shop once, or maybe even twice. After twice, I'm gonna be like, all right now, bitch, what the fuck is you doing? Then do what you got to do. Yep, sure did. I can't have no dark side. Thank you for the super chat, Angela. Thank you. He said, I can't have no dark side. Aries as a baby daddy. I mean, you got a point there. You got a point. My baby daddy is the Aries moon. You got a point. You got a point there, sister. Sister. What can we learn from this Sag eclipse? This eclipses are interesting in the sense that, they're not, unless you have a personal planet in Sagittarius, or like let's say the eclipse is going to be aspecting or is going to be occurring very close to the personal planet, you may not necessarily feel the direct impact or the direct result of it. Put it like that. Eclipses are generally felt, the effects of them, months, months after they happen. In some cases, it depending on like what text you read and whatever, like I've even heard years. But just as a general rule of thumb, they do incite very like extraordinary, maybe unpredictable changes, right? Unusual changes or circumstances. So even if we apply this to like the mutable signs and whatnot, I would say like if you have the eclipse taking place near like maybe your ascendant, sun, moon, ascendant, or midheaven, this could impact you more. But for the most part, it's going to incite a lot of change in terms of like what do you call it? From a universal standpoint, because that is what Sagittarius represents. So I feel like a lot of the changes that we'll see will be more so widespread from that vantage point. A lot of like international affairs and things like that changing, like on a collective level. It can make a lot of difference in your life. Individually though, and like I said, it just depends on where it falls in your chart. I would say some of the major themes that you could focus on for this eclipse would be, honoring your truth. It would be honoring your right for freedom. It would be, and that could look like anything, but even in terms of learning something new, going back to school, a lot of people around this time could be inspired to go back to school. Traveling could be a thing, and once again, speaking to like a more collective level, excuse me, there could be a lot of updates or a lot of major shifts that could happen when it comes to international travel. And y'all know that's kind of been something that's been in the works anyway, due to just this transit in South Node and Sagittarius. Um, because of COVID, and there have been so many, like whether it be travel restrictions, and you got to have vaccine cards over here and do this over there. So it's just a lot of different things going on in that regard. Um, this is a really good time to get in tune with your spirituality, your faith. Because I mean, as the transiting South Node switches into Scorpio later on this month, for the next 18 months, we're gonna be in for some trying times, honey. Buckle up, buttercup. Buckle up, buttercup. What about money? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of changes in regards to that. Like on a collective level, you can expect inflation to go up. You can expect the national deficit to increase. A lot of people are going to be going through it financially. I'm not going to hold you. If you're somebody who holds your money in like banks and shit, those all those kind of institutions with Scorpio and the South Node are going sunny side the fuck up. This is like money. This is the money. Keep your money in your mattress season. We talking about. If you can't afford it, don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Credit and all that other shit is gonna be no good. Also, it may be beneficial to explore and invest in different forms of currency. I know cryptocurrency is all the rage. And it's so funny. I'm shuffling my tarot deck, right? And I land on this Four of Pentacles, which also deals with like money, what I'm saying, finances, the way in which we protect and preserve our finances, and our material possessions, I guess you could say. Interesting. Yes, hit that like button, y'all. Come on, two jobs. Yeah, and I feel that too. A lot of people could be getting new jobs. And that's just an intuitive download. A lot of people could be getting new jobs or changing career fields around this time. Trying time like how? Trying time like and I actually strongly advise after this live stream at some point y'all go watch my video that I did on Scorpio South Node. But increase in crime. Y'all know it's been a lot of things in the media about break-ins. It was that one break-in where that old lady got killed. I'm like, you live to 81 years old and you die at the hand of some hooligan breaking in your motherfucking house. Crimes like that, you know what I'm saying? Crimes involving, because think about it, even with that Taurus North Node, people are going to be hurting. People are going to be, wanting money. Criminals are going to be emboldened. So lots of murder, lots of crime, lots of instability, all of that. That's Scorpio South Node. So, I mean, you know, it could be. It could be an inside job. I don't, because I, to be honest with y'all, I haven't looked further into that situation. I just saw like the headlines. And I saw her husband with some type of like major influence in like the industry, and y'all already know how that shit go. So I don't know, but it's some funny business. Like I said, they did make me sad because I'm like, damn, you really live to be a senior. You spent 81 years on this earth, and instead of dying to natural causes, you see what I'm saying? Instead of dying, transitioning in hospice with your family at your side, you know, you got to spend your final moments on the planet like that, in terror, in the middle of the night, scared. Somebody, it's just. mm, I don't even want to go there. That shit was fucked up. And had that been my granny, I'd be crying, shitting, throwing. I'd be sick. You hear me? Trying to nail somebody's ass to the motherfucking cross. I don't know much about the 15-year-old shooter, but since we talking about shooters and murder and the whole nine, this is actually a really good segue to get into our first topic of the night. And then I'll because I just realized I actually never, and I do this all the time because y'all know I be rambling. I never got into my story time, but we'll get into that after the first topic. We'll get into that after the first topic. So first topic of the night, since we're talking about crime, somebody actually suggested earlier in the day that I actually delineate the natal charts of a few school shooters. I thought that was a good idea because in light of the school shooting situation now, the most recent school shooting situation with that little baby Snow Roach, I don't know. I don't have his information. That's why on my community tab, I did ask if you guys knew anything about his time, his date of birth, excuse me, his birth information. Feel free to let me know because I don't know. And apparently there is not much information about the Snow Roach because he is a minor. He is indeed a baby albino Snow Roach. So we don't know much about him. But fortunately, there are a lot of other people who, I mean, just when we talk about the history of school shootings, the Columbine, Virginia Tech, it's no shortage. There are no shortage of school shooters that we can pull from. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll cover like a good 3 to 4 people. So I want to talk about because I compiled a nice little list here, and I'm actually going to share my screen. We're going to start with the Virginia Tech shooter. Now, if y'all don't remember, let me go ahead and run down the this Wikipedia article. Okay. The Virginia Tech shooting happened back in 2007, obviously at Virginia Tech. And there was this guy named Cho Seung Hui. I don't know. I'm just whatever. Cho Seung Hui. And he was actually South Korean. Okay. A mass murderer responsible for perpetrating the Virginia Tech shooting. He killed 32 people, wounded 17 others with two semi-automatic pistols on April 16th, y'all. What season is April 16th? Y'all tell me. That's during what season? Let me look at the chat. This is gonna be what you call it, call and response kind of live stream tonight. Aries. Aries is the sign that deals with what? What is Aries responsible for? Aries is responsible for war. Correct. But more specifically, there you go, Moonlight. Guns and violence, weaponry, combat, kicking ass, all of those things, but specifically guns, right? And that's the part that I wanted to emphasize when we're talking about school shootings. And somebody else mentioned too with that number 16. So the fact that all this happened on the 16th, the number 16 deals with tragedy, catastrophe, right? Victimhood. So I mean, you literally can't make this shit up. Like all of this shit happened in in Aries season. It's just crazy. But anyway, so yeah, he ended up turning the gun on himself, and committed suicide. After the police had closed in on him. But born in South Korea, Cho was 8 years old when he immigrated to the U.S. with his family. He became a permanent U.S. citizen, or resident rather, as a South Korean national. At the time of the killing, Cho had the legal status of a resident legal alien. In middle school, he was diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder and selective mutism, as well as major depressive disorder. After his diagnosis, he began receiving treatment and continued to receive therapy and special education support until his junior year of high school. Cho was bullied throughout high school. During Cho's last 2 years at Virginia Tech, several instances. Thank you for the cash app, Gary. Thank you, baby. During Cho's last 2 years at Virginia Tech, several instances of his abnormal behavior, as well as plays and other writings he submitted containing references to violence, caused concern amongst teachers and classmates. In the aftermath of the shootings, Virginia Governor Tim Kaine, a panel consisting of various officials and experts to investigate and examine the response and handling of issues related to the shooting. So blah 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 blah. Basically, the motherfucker had problems. Okay, the nigga was crazy. So we're gonna look at his chart. We're gonna look at his chart. I always see a pattern with them. Yeah, and anxiety. Yeah. South Korea is fucking stressful. They go to school for hours every day. I live there to do that. But apparently he didn't live there long. So I don't know. I mean, maybe something could have happened. I don't know, but excuse me. Let's look at Cho. Let's look at Cho's chart, and I'm going to actually share that with y'all. So give me just a second, and I'll share my screen. Now we don't know Cho's date of. I mean, not date. We don't know his time of birth. So per usual, I use the placeholder. So his ascendant, the house placements, and all those things should be taken with a grain of salt. But what we can deduce is that Cho was born on January 18th, 1984, in Busan, somewhere in South Korea. Point is, okay, that number 18 is also a really, really bad number. And actually, this is a number that I've seen occur pretty often when we talk about the charts of school shooters. The number 18, for those of you all who are subscribed to my Patreon, the top tier, shout out to my Patreon family. I did a video on compound numbers, okay, in Chaldean numerology. The number 18 is associated with extreme cruelty, violence. Okay. So and it also does fall like hand in hand with the theme and the energetic signature of somebody who can carry out a fucking school shooting. These are people who either could surround themselves around or they could find themselves falling victim to really like cruel and evil people, or they can be very sadistic, very mean and just evil people themselves. They can just have some really nasty character flaws, and a lot of them are obsessed with power and, like I said, control, cruelty, and they can use violence as a means to accomplish those things. Some people can even find joy in terms of like inflicting suffering on other people. It can get really like deep and sadistic. That number 18 is actually a really bad number. So, there's that. And this actually will place his sun at the 27th degree. The number 27 reduces the 9, which also deals with extreme violence and guns. And so, yeah. And not to mention, he's a Capricorn sun. Capricorns can also be very sadistic. Now, to the point that someone mentioned in the chat earlier, he does have that sun moon opposition. Okay, which right away can point towards severe imbalance, emotional imbalance, and disturbances within the personality. So, like I said, personality issues. All right. He does have Sun Square Pluto. That's correct, Andre, which is also really big about people with, that's a death aspect, number one. Not to mention, he also has Sun Square in Mars, that's Scorpio Mars. Um, I believe it is, yeah, he has a stellium with his Mars, Saturn, and Pluto in Scorpio, which when you consider the fact that he's also a Capricorn sun, it creates a person who feels a sense of control. Like killing people could elicit a feeling of control within him. You know what I mean? And that's something else that you see in a lot that a lot of these school shooters have in common. Because a lot of times they're very depressed. Okay. A lot of times they are very awkward. And so with that being said, let's discuss his this Uranus setup he got going on. He has this stellium, the Sagittarius stellium, which is very symbolic of him being a school shooter in terms of college, right? He went and shot up the college, so he has a lot of karma as a Sagittarius South Node. He has a South Node conjunct Uranus at number 12, Uranus at the 12th degree. That's victimization and sacrifice, right? Victimizing and sacrificing his peers. But point is, these are people, when we talk about like school shooters, a lot of them have different variations of like being like, what do you call it? Like sociopathic in nature. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all can pull up the definition of like sociopaths and versus, any other type of path. But I think it's when you're not capable of feeling emotion, you know what I'm saying? Like sympathy and empathy and blah, 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 blah. But his Uranus conjunct that Sagittarius South Node could have everything to do with that. It can deal with him being weird, an outcast, which a lot of these school shooters are. They're giving you like they're giving you like girl, what the fuck is wrong with you vibes? Like, a lot of them could have been bullied, which could also be symbolized with that Uranus conjunction. Um, so there's that, and then it's parallel to Venus, and like I said, so I mean, he could have just had a chip on his shoulder in general. Then he has his Mercury at the third degree Capricorn. Once again, like I said, a lot of these people are depressed. That's the sequential aspect for depression. Mercury conjunct Neptune at the 29th degree. He also has his Jupiter at the 29th degree. These are people who can be prone towards like delusions and shit like that. And something else I noticed that a lot of these shooters have very vivid imaginations, and they did a lot of writing about their fantasies, which would definitely be Mercury conjunct Neptune, especially in Sagittarius. So writing about the things that you feel, and a lot of times, they could even have to do with like, and they didn't specify this, but based on this setup, he may have had even some type of spiritual or religious kind of uh, what do you call it, like delusion, which is also very common. Like a lot of people kind of have this feeling of like this air of superiority or feeling like, by divine right, what I'm saying, I should be able to do this and that and this and that. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. But that Mercury conjunct Neptune at the 29th degree could also just make him, it can reinforce him just being a misfit. That also deals with his speech impediment because they say he had a speech impediment that everybody used to roast his ass for. That could also deal with him just being really having a really hard time in his more formative years, especially grades K through 12. But like I say, though, because that Jupiter is at the 29th degree. So he was low key a ticking time bomb. North Node in Gemini, yeah, making him bipolar. And that's another thing. That Gemini North Node can incite a lot of mental health issues. So the fact that it was opposing Neptune, I mean, excuse me, Uranus like that, probably, maybe. And then you look at the condition of his Mercury, maybe he had bipolar disorder, but he had some was off. He was definitely thrown off. Maybe some form of like schizophrenia or some weird shit like that. Like I don't know, because like I said, Mercury conjunct Neptune like that, especially at the 29th degree, that's hallucinating, that's disassociating from reality, that's all of that. So there's that. He also had that Sun square Pluto could also make him someone who's, it gives a very gothic kind of feel too. A lot of these people could be very suicidal. And because of their need for control and whatnot, a lot of these people may end up taking their own lives. Not every person with Sun Square Pluto takes their own lives, but in this case, it does make sense that he committed suicide. Sun Square Mars and Scorpio could also give him a lot of anger issues. But a lot of times, once again, when we talk about that ticking time bomb kind of placement or aspects, I would say this could definitely attribute to that. In the sense that these are people who could be filled with lots of hatred and anger and resentment over the years, and I mean, once they brood over, they can be murder machines. Even in terms of like him resorting to gun violence and all of that. That's very Sun Square Mars, very Sun Square Mars. And it could also even point to him being possessed by demonic entities too. And he has Mars conjoined Pluto. Yeah, like that's like a predator aspect. Someone who could definitely, target and hurt other people. But yeah, one of the most common themes that I do see is definitely um some kind of adverse activity going on with Uranus though. Because a lot of these school shooters is weird as fuck. Sun squaring Saturn is a depressive aspect. Correct. He doesn't have Sun square Saturn. No, he does not this shooter. But he does have Mercury in Capricorn, which can produce a similar outcome. Junk Neptune. So but the fact that his Saturn is, excuse me, in Scorpio, that could also be like a red flag. A lot of times they have a lot of karmic debt in terms of like, and honestly, it makes you wonder if he's been abused, which could also be a common theme. And when you think about that stellium, that Scorpio stellium, which includes his Saturn in Scorpio, I kind of wonder. Even with Sun square Pluto, I mean, he could have had an abusive father. Yeah, and it's also squaring his Mercury. I wonder what the fuck his dad got going on. Saturn could also deal with the dad. His dad may have been a very dark, twisted, demented individual. Then with the sun, his son in opposition to the moon like that, I'm calling his father into question. You also have to look at shit like that. Who the fuck raised these motherfuckers? Sun opposition to moon. Resentment for Sun in opposition to the moon can create adverse relationships with family for sure. Now, in terms of the resentment, that would be more so Sun square Pluto. I could see him resenting his father. Like I said, even Sun square Mars. Whatever it is, he got some daddy issues, or he has some major daddy issues going. A lot of these people could be abuse victims. And now, what kind of abuse? I don't know, child. He does got Uranus conjunct that South Node. I don't know, fam. I'm gonna leave it at that. Do they have benefits with the number 18? I have my Mars, Venus, and Saturn at the 18th degree. Um, it could be material success. A lot of 18s can be materially successful. Um, y'all see how hard I'm trying, right? Because like it's really not that great of a number. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you have like a, you know, like you said, you got your Venus and Mars. That would more so speak to you needing to be mindful of the friends that you have, the people you have around you, the people that you date. You might need to really do some serious, what do you call it? What do you call it? Not gatekeeping, but you need to practice a lot of discernment and pay attention to who you got around you like that. Um, yeah. I mean, 18s can be very, like I said, accomplished and ambitious and won't very willful. Vetting, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, self-made. He had a manifesto. Ooh, okay. Wow. Whose chart are we looking? We're looking at Cho Seung Hui from the Virginia Tech shooting. I saw his pics just now. OMG, he looks so evil and angry. He did. He did. Evil and that's something else I see in a lot of you'll see when we get to the next school shooter. A lot of them do have repressed anger and hatred and resentment. That in combination with that Uranus thing of them being like, nerds or outcasted, maybe bullies. But you know what Uranus also does, depending on how it's placed, is it can make a person incredibly uh apathetic. You know what I'm saying? So where you could just be completely void of like emotion or empathy, a sociopathic tendency to where you can just hurt a bunch of people and not feel no way. Like, you know what I mean? Very machine like cold, like depersonalizing people, dehumanizing people. It's so weird. Is 12 more of a bad number or is that good? I mean, 12 is a really challenging number, but because it reduces technically it does reduce to 3, so I mean it can get you a lot of benefits and shit, especially from other people. They can benefit from a lot of personal relationships. I'ma ride you like a rodeo, hop tie you like a rodeo. I watch too much TikTok, y'all, but that song has been living rent free in my brain. In Korea you have to serve the military, and I've seen photos of him in military gear. Interesting. Interesting. Now, the whole him being born in Korea and being, migrating, Also plays into this Sagittarius South Node and the Sagittarius stellium we have here. A lot of South nodes are born to either immigrants or it could be like first generation, but that also has a lot to do with him moving in his more formative years. And it can point to where he had a really difficult time integrating into like other cultures and shit, like American society. He probably had a really hard time. So that I can see as well. And that 29th degree has to be rough. Because that could just, impair your confidence and stuff like that. And so, like I said, I just think yeah, he was another one that was just kind of dealt like a really crazy hand. Let me take a look at his asteroids before moving on. I think we kind of hit most of the more obvious points within his chart. Let me see. Asteroids. He does have Arachne opposing his moon. And, Arachne could deal with just like complicated situations involving the family. Like I said, he came from a lot of family dysfunction. And with a lot of these folks, you got to look at what type of household they was raised up in. And his Arachne is running parallel to Uranus. He could have had parents that weren't affectionate, which I mean, no tea, no shade. A lot of people say that about Asian families that they're not affectionate. Now, I mean, obviously, every person in the Asian family doesn't grow up to be a school shooter, but that's kind of interesting. Hog tie you like a rodeo. I'm also wondering if he was wrestling with his sexuality. You got Juno in opposition to that Scorpio Mars. I don't know. Venus square Saturn. I wouldn't say that necessarily by default would make a serial killer. But I will say this. I mean, it can make you someone who does delight in punishing other people. I'm not even gonna say just one aspect alone will produce a serial killer. Because I really truly do feel like there are a bunch of different things that kind of play into that. But if we're talking about signs, that are just most prone towards serial killing, just based off of facts, we do have to acknowledge mutables. But anyway, next up on the docket, self-love issues is common too for Venus square Saturn, especially if you said you got your Venus in Virgo. So, it could cause you to be very self-deprecating, to deal with people or to lack self-respect, deal with people in relationships where you may not get the respect you deserve. So that's something that, you gotta be mindful of. Asian Virgo, I agree with you. Now, next up we do have Adam Lanza. Let me pull up his information here. Adam Lanza. He was the Sandy Hook shooter. How many of you guys remember Sandy Hooks? It took place back in December of 2012. Okay, so this was a situation where the boy had a mom who was a school teacher at Sandy Hooks Elementary. For whatever reason, he went up to the school, killed his mother, and proceeded to shoot elementary children. Like, he killed like 20 kids between the ages of 5 and 10. And I'm not gonna hold y'all as a, you know, a mom, right? With a very young child. Like, I mean, I wasn't a mom then, but like in retrospect, looking back at that and conceptualizing somebody my daughter's elementary school and shooting first graders, that shit would that it kind of fucks with my brain. That shit is horrific. And so yeah, he was. Uh, they said Nancy was a former stockbroker and longtime gun enthusiast. See, friends and neighbors said she took her son to the gun range to avoid leaving him alone. But she was responsible with weapons. Unlike her son, who was quiet and socially awkward. Once again, these awkward motherfuckers. Nancy was outgoing and easily made friends. She had divorced her husband at some point. Yada yada yada. So it's basically just giving kind of like an overview of that. But yeah. So this is whose chart we're looking at. The guy who was responsible for murdering countless small children at Sandy Hooks Middle School, or elementary school, rather. He was born April 22nd, 1992. Um, that number 22 can be a doozy in terms of producing someone who may have issues with like emotional problems, emotional disturbances. Okay. And because it reduces to the number 4, they can be, susceptible to sociopathic behavior. He's a Taurus sun, and y'all see this Aries connection he got going on. So Venus at the 19th degree of Aries, Mercury at the 5th degree of Aries, his moon, okay, he was a Capricorn moon with his moon actually squaring that Mercury. So that deals with his mom taking him on the gun range. You know, I mean, technically, you could also even look at that as him going up to his mom's school, killing the mama at the school, shooting her. Literally, Mercury in Aries shooting up a school. You don't get no literal any more literal than that. But he also has some other like I said, hookups that I noticed that are common. So y'all pay attention to his Uranus. He got Uranus at the 18th degree. 18, 18 conjunct his moon. And that could deal with him growing up in an environment that was, like I said, void of love. He could have had a mom who was very emotionally unavailable as well. And it made him someone who could have been like just very like robotic, very robotic, no remorse, very cold, but also very withdrawn and awkward, and all of those things that they even specified in the article. That could symbolize a very disjointed family. So, I mean, that moon, I don't like that moon Uranus conjunction at all, at all. And like I said, when we talk about Capricorn placements, especially in the moon, they can be subject to depression. He has his moon conjunct Neptune that could also deal with him disassociated from reality, having like, delusions. And I mean, you can't make this shit up. He also has his sun squaring Chiron. That's another really bad aspect in terms of producing a person who is just um fundamentally, they're very wounded people. You know, he could have had a lot of issues. Someone else who could have potentially had daddy issues, major issues to his self esteem. Okay, because he also comes from that Chiron Leo generation and as a Taurus at that. Issues with his self esteem, issues with his self worth, majorly lacking self confidence. And once again, you know, they can feel empowered. A lot of these people do feel the only way they're able to really kind of feel empowered and like they got, you know, like they're able to thrive is when they're inflicting pain and shit on other people. That Sun Square Chiron in general just could make him a very hopeless individual. And you could even look at that as wounds on the children, Chiron and Leo. Literal, like literal wounds onto children. You're wounding children. Mars and Pisces isn't necessarily peaceful. No. Actually, Mars, mutable, just like I always say with mutable signs and how they can be very violent. Mars and Pisces can produce a person who can be, especially when they're under the influence, or once again, if they have any kind of variation of like associative disorders or something like that. Um, I mean, these are people who can like check out of reality and do some really harmful shit. So yeah, Mars and Pisces can be kind of passive, but like most mutable signs, so if you have your Mars in Virgo, Mars in Pisces, Mars in Sag, Mars in Gemini, can be prone to they can be unpredictable, very unpredictable. So even that's a red flag if you want to be honest. Yep, then he has Saturn squaring Pluto. He himself could have been abused. He himself could have been abused. But that could also just reinforce him being, especially with his Saturn in Aquarius, just having that feeling of like, fuck it. You know, these are people who can say, fuck it. I ain't shit, so I'm gonna treat you like you not shit. I don't give a fuck. So that's kind of scary. And like I said, I wonder what kind of abuse he's undergoing over the years, but you know, and it could even be verbal abuse, honestly, with that moon squaring Mercury. And I'm not saying that it was okay for him to kill his mom, but I would be surprised if his mom wasn't like verbally abusive to him or some shit like that. Yep. Then he also has Mercury sesqui square to Pluto. He could have been, you know, tormented in school and shit like that too. He has his moon. Yeah, his moon is also conjoined to Neptune. So moon and conjunction is in Neptune. That's also another outcast. Like I said, an outcast aspect where he just feels like an outsider. He's an outcast. He's a weirdo. Yeah. I mean, he has all of the telltale little inklings and Venus square Uranus, Venus square Neptune. He probably was very lonely, very much probably ain't had no friends. So yeah, there you go. There you go. And as a Cancer South note, he had a lot of karma involved in family issues and with the mom. So yeah, he definitely had like a really horrible relationship with his mom. Was it okay to kill her? Absolutely the fuck not. He was supposed to be somebody who learned how to master and control his emotions. Well, he clearly failed the assignment. Clearly. And honestly, if he didn't kill his mom, he probably would have been the type to go on to kill a spouse or some shit with that Venus and Aries. Yep. Pisces is a very violent sign. That's correct. Ra described Mr. as a dark side of Pisces. And I agree with her assessment. People sleep on signs like Pisces because they think, the one facet of Pisces. Because you got to remember, with mutable signs, the energy is ever changing. It's not just one thing, right? Nothing is ever what it really appears to be when you're dealing with a mutable sign. Much less a Pisces. Can Moon square Pluto have feeling of being outsiders? Not really. I mean, if you do feel like you're an outsider, it could be attributed to something else. But I will say Moon and negative aspects to Pluto, or even in some cases, like people with Moon in conjunction to Pluto could feel threatened. You know what I'm saying? These are people who constantly feel threatened by other people, where it's really hard to kind of just relax. Like those are people who may always have to be on guard when it comes to other people. Or there could be a lack of peace or security when it comes to your personal relationships. That too, maybe jealousy. But when we talk about like Neptune, we're talking about like when I say misunderstood with or outsiders with Neptune rather. I'm more so speaking to like the feeling of like being a misfit. Feeling misunderstood, not really feeling heard, not really feeling seen. If you got Moon in conjunction to Neptune or some shit, you feel invisible. You know, Moon in conjunction to Uranus, you feel weird. Maybe you got bullied. Moon square Pluto, I say I'm very weary of people. Like I don't fuck with people. Yeah, I have my Moon squaring my Scorpio Mars, which it's a similar thing, and I've always been very a very kind of defense over the years. I've grown to be a very defensive person, or kind of always had to like you know someone even said like hating vulnerability. That could be another way that could transpire too. Some people are really just they. Some people are set up for failure, and it's not popular to say because that's where I have all of the love and light astrologers be like, "No, you're negative. It's not true. We no man. Why would you say that? She's so negative." And it's like we have free will. We have free will. Everybody has free will. And it's like, yeah, yeah, we got free will, but some people, based on your alignments, are able to tap into your free will more than others. This nigga got Sun squaring Chiron. Our sun is our free will. Clearly, he's going to have a difficult time accessing his free will with Sun squaring Chiron. It's free will. It's free will. Moon in conjunction to the sun. You could be a very self-contained person. Depending on what sign that it's in, these are very self-focused people. So these are people who are like kind of tunnel vision, like they don't really focus on too much of what other people have going on. These are people who kind of have their own um, objective for what they want out of life, and other people kind of have to accommodate to them more so than the other way around. Like I said, the sign that it's in does it that matters, but usually people with sun in conjunction to the moon are more sure of themselves. Usually, not always. Astrology is a little complex, but usually. Moon square Mars. I heard y'all can be very defensive. Yes, emotionally reactive. Yep, yep. A lot of times we come from backgrounds of like violent households, like growing up with like domestic violence, abuse. That could even be moon and negative aspects to Pluto too. But yep, temperamental, anger issues. You know, all those wonderful things. Praise God. Praise God. Hallelujah. Praise God. I think I'm going to refill my cup. So let's take a brief intermission while I refresh my libations. I encourage you guys to do the same. Okay, if you got to roll another blunt, go roll another blunt. So if you need to pour another glass of water or tea or a beverage of your choice, let me tell y'all what I have. And like I said, this is very Sagittarius. I'm getting back on track tomorrow because I have goals I would like to accomplish. But I had a 6-piece wing and fries. Oh my god, from J&G Fish and Chicken, so good. Ooh, and I put some hot sauce on it, and I hit that bitch with a little ranch, dab of ranch. Beautiful. It was like something. It was giving me something very much something out of a movie. It was yummy. It was yummy. Come on, smoke one. Hey, baby, Patricia. Hey, Patricia. The Sandy Hook shooter's eyes like this. He looks shocked in most photos. That nigga was crazy. Yeah, I wish I had that sun moon positives. You know what you want and you like. Libra sun, square Chiron, and Capricorn. You had issues with authority figures. That could be problem with, that, and that could even extend over into like your professional life. So, or just elders. People have a difficult time being told what to do, being disciplined. Or they could be knuckleheads. You don't like being told what to do and whatnot. Some of them could have had fathers who were very punitive. Oh, not Sun Square Saturn. Yeah. You must have had a really strict dad or something. Like he must have been a really big disciplinarian. I hate how I'm so sensitive to weed. My Neptune first house makes me very high tolerance where I feel disconnected with my body. Wow. Yeah, that sounds about right. Neptune in the first house. Either they can have a really, really high tolerance or very, very low tolerance. Oh, you say yeah. Ooh, child. Them sun Saturn aspects ain't nothing to fuck with. Ain't nothing to fuck with. All right. So give me just a second. Let me play some music. Y'all enjoy the tunes while I go refill. Can I get a refill? Can I get a refill? Re. Let's see what we got. Let's listen to the delectable tunes of Oh, Ricky Rose. Hold on. I know Rick Ross. I don't even like Rick Ross like that, but that Rich Forever mixtape will go down in history. Okay. So y'all hold on. All right, I'm back. Hey. Okay, last time I had an edible, it made me feel scared and paranoid. I mean, that's common. I've heard of that. Smoking weed always makes me paranoid. I keep thinking about death when I'm high. I'm wondering if it's my Mercury square Pluto. That could definitely contribute to that. You also got to think about what your Neptune is doing too. Even your 12th house, you can look at that to see how you handle intoxication. But yeah. I also think too, everybody's different, but it also depends on like what, because I do have a lot of anxiety, Virgo moon, and like it just depends. Because I noticed that like when I smoke street weed, which is usually a blend, niggas be blending all kinds of shit together. I noticed having a lot of those same like uptick in anxiety inducing thoughts. But for example, when I started, because y'all know up north, like in certain places, of course, weed is legal. And I'm from East St. Louis. Most of my family lives in St. Louis, but like, you know, Louis is Illinois. So like when I went to East St. Louis this summer, they weed is legal in Illinois and they have dispensaries. So I went and actually like copped some edibles. And when that's the thing, when you legalize and regulate weed, you're able to actually, know what you're getting, especially in terms of strains. So sativa, wait, indica, I'm tripping. Indica, yeah, is my indica is what slows you down and it's more of a downer. And I caught me a whole bunch of indica based products. My mama friend had a whole bunch of indica based products, like edibles. Completely, it was a game changer. Not gonna hold you. It was a game changer, and I could smoke it all day. I could eat the edibles all day, and it relaxed me as opposed to you know I'm staying away from drinking tons of alcohol. If I drink too much, there's a strong possibility that I could behave in a very, come on, inappropriate. Yeah, indica. Yeah, it helps you sleep. Yeah, I'm the same because my mind is already buzzing. Like I don't need any more stimulation, or else I get like you. I start thinking about all kinds of shit. So yeah, I get it. That's not fun. But I could do indica because it calms me down. I need sedatives, and I mean, I try not to drink as much because just obviously alcohol isn't good for you. So if you are gonna do something, I mean, we all got vices, but if you are gonna do something, weed is better. So that's kind of why I just landed on that. But everybody got vices. You point to somebody who doesn't have a vice, I'll show you a fucking so a Columbine shooter or some shit, motherfucker. Like even if drinking or smoking isn't your thing, it's usually I notice like these are people who can really have like certain sex kinks or really enjoy sex. Think about Candy Burris from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She doesn't drink every time the girls get up together and go on the vacation or do this and that. She's like, oh, I don't drink. I don't drink. I ain't never seen her put a drink to her lips of alcoholic beverage. But when it's time to have sex dungeons and parties, and actually makes it a little bit more sinister because bitch, your ass is a stone cold freak. Sober, bitch. You don't need no type of like at least I need a couple shots, a little bit of liquid crack. This bitch is she be going in sober. Don't need no kind of lubricant for reality. Yo, wait, as the 12th house is kind of sleep, and also how you act when you're intoxicated. Does that activate the planets in the 12th house better when you want? It could. It depends on like what the planets are and what they're doing. Indicators of having a tall spouse. I mean, if we're talking about your spouse, you're gonna look at your seventh house. But also Venus. So like maybe Venus, Jupiter aspects or some shit. Excuse me. Hey, Metaphysics King. Books. Yeah, I like books too. You love a good sativa for the creative energy. I need weed. I can't deal with these anxieties and worries. Oh, well, that's why you got Mercury in the 12th house. Yeah, that deals with the paranoia. That makes sense. You need something that's gonna slow your mind down. A lot of spirits probably talk to you. It's the same thing with me because I got Virgo in the 12th house. Like I don't have any planets there, but Virgo is in the 12th house for me. So especially as a Virgo moon. I mean my moon's in the 11th house, but I'm clairaudient. So I hear things I hear things when I'm sober, but when I'm under the influence sometimes I can get a lot of messages and it can be scary. It can be very scary. Venus square Jupiter usually isn't really good for money. You can be really wasteful with your money. You can also be overzealous in relationships. Indicator of having a hard time making friends. Yeah. afflictions to, let's say, like somebody with Venus in opposition to Uranus or some shit. Venus in negative aspects to Uranus for sure. Um, Also our Saturn Aquarius generation. Shout outs to, my fellow Saturn and Aquarius gang gang. Like you see here with this goddamn school shooter. Um, like for example, having it placed in Saturn in the 11th house or Saturn in Aquarius. Um, Chiron in the 11th house, which is interesting. This guy's time of birth, but Chiron in the 11th house can produce a person who can have a hard time making friends. Honestly. Venus in conjunction to Mars, Venus square Mars as well. Aries in the 12th house can make you violent while you're drunk. Same thing for Mars in the 12th too. Yep, that's right. An out of body experience. Wow. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Venus and Virgo opposing. Yeah, Uranus and Pisces. Yeah. Yeah, that's an aspect of somebody who could have a difficult time making friends. That makes sense. Maintaining friendships, yeah, that could be a part of it too. So yeah, all of that makes sense. Excuse me. So okay, for my birthday, I got me a nice little hotel, Midtown Atlanta. It was a lot of fun. Me and my best friend went to a club where they was playing all of the hits. Okay, they was playing all of the Atlanta throwback hits, all of the rich kids, all of the young LAs, all of the Dro Ti. Like it was everything. Then I called. Listen, y'all. So okay, it's the thing is no more. I think it's safe to say that the thing is no more. The situationship has expired. But I was dealing with a little tenderoni. And like I have fun. We have fun. But y'all, like, I was like, this nigga has the makings to ruin my life, and I can't allow that to happen. He's a Gemini Sun, Moon, Venus, um, Mars, and all of that shit is in my eighth house. Can't do that. I can't do it. Yeah, can't do it. I had like my birthday was like lit. You could, and I felt like I don't know. I just felt like I felt like a kid again. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Geminis are very dangerous for me because it's like it's just dangerous. I gotta, like I said, I got Gemini in the eighth house. Like it's dangerous. Like you can fuck me, but like after that's done, I need to get as far away from you as possible. Thank you, Leela. You hate low vibrational Gemini people. We Geminis are needed. as I don't know, like as friends, cool, but I'm talking about like if you're somebody I'm supposed to be starting some type of like romantic companionship with, like especially Gemini men, get away from me. Get the fuck away from me. What is it with Sagittarius and Geminis get into? You know, they say opposites attract. I mean, and for what it's worth, even with Gemini and Sagittarius being like opposing signs, they are very compatible. They are like it's actually very easy for them to like really connect on a lot of the same things. When I think about it, there was this girl. She's like a friend of a friend, so she's not my friend directly, but she was a Gemini, and like we would hang out whenever like my friend, our mutual friend would bring us together, and that was my girl. Like the bitch was crazy, but guess what? I was too, and maybe that's where it gets kind of dangerous with me and Gemini women, because who the fuck gonna who's the voice of reason for us? Because she would do shit and I would do it, and if she egged me on and I egg her on, and she was like, "Bitch," I'd be like, "Bitch." I was like, "Girl, let's girl, get some niggas in here. Yeah, they got money. Yeah. Girl, we gonna go home with them? I don't know. Are you wanna go? Yeah. Okay, I'm going. Oh, he got money. Let's go over there talk to, oh, like, you wanna scam him? Like, yeah, girl, let's go scam him. And it's like, wow. Like if I really had like a Gemini best friend, we would be in jail. Like, cause who's gonna where is this gonna go? Like where's this gonna go? Like who's gonna stop this? Who's gonna put the pause on the operation? We don't be thinking clearly. Let the reason go. Sag moon men, in relationships, Sag moon men, I would say might be worse than Sagittarius sun men, because and it depends on what you want, right? Because on one hand, on the positive end, I mean, they can be very um charismatic. A lot of them are really smooth, very charming. Um, they can be very wise men. A lot of them are. But on the other hand, and like I said, depending on what you want and who you are, like they have a very large appetite. They can be very lustful and have a very large appetite for women. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. A lot of times Sagittarius moon men come from very religious families, so they can be very religious themselves. Or it could be common for them to have a lot of distance separating themselves and their families. Sagittarius, moon and Sagittarius could also produce a large family too, though. Somebody who comes from a big family. That's common. How you know Master Splinter was a Cancer? Since he's a Gemini, you're a Gemini, Venus, and Mercury. That makes sense. You love people with playful, childlike personalities. My Cancer, Mars, and Saturn keep me calm, though. I can't even run from. I can't run. So that Cancer Mars is what got you aggressive. That's another thing. If I see a nigga with his Mars and Cancer, I'm gone. That's another real quick. I try not to do readings on every single person that I hook up with, but that's like and as an astrologer, I have to kind of take my astrologer hat off sometimes. But I will say, if I see like Venus and negative aspects of Pluto, I'm out. If I see you got any meaningful Cancer placements, which include Mars and Cancer, I'm out. I'm out of there, nigga. You'll never hear from me again. Never hear from me again. I swear to God, I'm gone. Oh, and that makes sense why you like a lot of Sages. If you a Sag moon, that makes sense. Not sexually frustrated. How is the Sag moon influenced when conjoined to Pluto? They can be when it comes to religion and shit, they can be zealots. They can be very dogmatic in their and not even just religion. It can be just their views in general. Like however they feel about shit. They can just be kind of overbearing. Like you're doing too much. They can have very overbearing like families or parents or have very some of them can just have very adverse relationships with parents or especially the mother or some of them could be estranged. If it's a man, you want to be mindful in terms of observing, you know, his psychology towards women because there could be some unresolved like trauma that they could project onto the women in their lives and shit. Yes. Sagittarius in general is a sign that does deal with interracial relationships, even intercultural relationships. So when we talk about like depending on what you place it in for a man or well, and of course I'm speaking in terms of heterosexual normative, right? But you can apply it however you want to apply it. But like, Sag moon men, right? Would definitely be open to dating a woman outside of his race. But I mean, even Sagittarius sons, Sagittarius, like having Sagittarius on the nodes, you know. So yes, to answer your question is yes. Did y'all watch that verses? Did y'all watch the verses between 3 6 and Bone Thugs and Harmony? Let's ride. Hey, 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 get high. Notorious. Mm. Sweetie is a Sag Moon, and in the video she said, "Yeah, pastors. Yeah, a lot of times they are raised very religious, so that makes sense." Too, I'm crazy as fuck, but at the same time, I'm only 17. Yeah, yeah. Live your life, honey. Do I get along with Scorpio women? I guess. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have that many up close and personal experiences with Scorpio women. Um, Although I guess I would theoretically, if I think about my chart, maybe I wouldn't have the best experiences just because I do have my Scorpio Mars at the 29th degree squaring my moon. But I mean, I'm trying to think. I do have a homegirl who's a Scorpio now, and I mean that's cool. Like I said, I don't have that many experiences with just a whole bunch of Scorpio women. I don't really do that well with other Sagittarius. I'm gonna be honest. I I don't do well with like if I'm thinking about my life and I mean I've been in communication with lots of Sagittariuses and specifically women. I do see a pattern or a trend with Sagittarius women that I just don't really get along with them. Or it's not even like don't get along with them. It's just we don't mesh for whatever reason. The way that you probably would think, like, oh, there's another set, like it, you know what I mean? Like long term, it just don't really work out. It just don't be working out. I don't know. Okay, you already know we finna get into bit. Busy Bone said, "Y'all ugly motherfuckers not finna be making y'all not finna be mocking me while I'm on stage. Straight the fuck up." And let's talk about it because for those of y'all who didn't watch the verses, basically it was the ghettoest motherfucking thing ever. Okay, with they at their big age, Busy Bone turned to Juicy J and DJ Paul is a dog one we do not trust. It was like y'all ugly motherfuckers is not gonna be mocking me while I'm on stage, bitch. And they was like, suck my dick, and he said what? And he started throwing shit. Then I guess like 3 6, but it was like honestly, Juicy J wasn't really hitting on like he threw a punch, but it was giving me like my daughter could have uh slid a nigga harder than that. But basically he got rushed by a whole bunch of niggas. Everybody's like, well, oh, Busy Bone, he ran, he threw shit and ran. But when I kept watching the tape, I kept rewinding. What I saw was a few things. So when he threw the bottle in the microphone, he stumbled back, right? And even if he did like intentionally try to step back, my thing is you had a whole bunch of niggas rushing towards you. So even if I did pop shit off, what kind of superheroes are y'all where I'm just gonna run headfirst into a group of niggas? Of course, if a group of niggas is walking towards me, I'm gonna back up so I can get the field advantage. Like, what are you talking about? Then when like I guess everybody started running up, one of his I don't know if it was I don't know which bone, hand bone, like I don't know, sand bone, I don't know which bone pushed him back. He had got pushed back. There was something else that I feel like nobody really peeped. And they were like, oh, he ran to the back, but I'm like, they were pushing him back. So like whatever. Either way it go, I looked it up and I found out Busy was a Virgo, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. Y'all know us mutables will get the party started. We're gonna get the party started, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna get the party started. Oh yeah. I said this nigga crazy. This nigga is crazy. But you know, if you've been hip to the to Bone Thugs, y'all already know that he's one of everybody in a group got that one person, that group member. He is that one group member. And you know, he does come from a very troubled background and you know, the whole nine, but they all 40 and up. Those niggas was not I know they was sore the next day. I know that nigga woke up the next morning and felt like he got hit by a truck. You hear me? I know he had to go rest them bones. Them bone. Tell me what you gonna do. Cause uh them hits, you can't take a hit the same way at 45 like you did at 25. Maybe even 30. You gotta sit your ass down somewhere, sir. But he did pop that shit off though. So yes, let's go ahead and pull it up because you know I already had I got the chart pulled up right here. So Busy Bone was born September 12th. That number 12, that's why he lived such a hard life. September 12th, 1976 in Columbus, Ohio. His sun is at the 20th degree of Virgo. Okay, so yeah, a couple of things at play. Y'all see this Libra stellium. Now, at face value, most people think like, oh, Libra, you know, especially if you got your Mars and Libra, like, oh, they're passive and this and that. One thing you got to consider is when you got Mars and Libra, some of these people actually can be aggressive as fuck when it comes to other people. Libra is literally the sign of other people. It's also the sign of open enemies. And the fact that it's conjunct his Venus and Pluto, that's the person who's constantly on guard. Like even with his Mercury in the equation too. So you got Mercury, Pluto, excuse me, Mars and Venus, all conjoined to one another in the sign of Libra. This is somebody who is constantly on the defense. Constantly on the defense. Always got issues. Always either thinking other people gunning for him or him gunning for other people. Even in person, like romantic relationships, that could be somebody who can have a hard time maintaining harmonious relationships for a long period of time. So yeah, yeah, yeah. He may even be abusive with Venus conjunct Pluto and Mars. But like, all right, then when the fact that he was a Virgo, Virgos always think somebody making fun of them because it comes from that like insecure nature, right? Even like borderline paranoia, like you know what I mean. So he does fit the bill in terms of that Virgo shit, being just kind of insecure and paranoid. He also has his moon. He's a Taurus moon, but it's conjoined to Chiron. That's also why he's so unpredictable. And it's opposing his Uranus in Scorpio. He's also a Scorpio North Node. I'm not trying to be funny, y'all, but I'm surprised he's still alive. I'm not wishing death on this man, but he has the chart of somebody who can get taken up out of here kind of early. Not even trying to be funny. Notorious thugs. So the 18, like I said, if it's not you, you gotta always be mindful of the people that you're hanging out with. You need to do a space on Twitter. What you mean? I just love how you make this so fun to listen to while relaxing. Oh, thank you. That's why I aim for. That's why we the hood Astro over here. Not because I'm a ghetto bird, but because this is a very informal approach to astrology. Know what I mean? Okay, we can get into Nikki's chart. His guardian angel working overtime, yeah. But yeah, he does have you could tell like moon in conjunction to Chiron, that's a lot of pain and trauma, especially in opposition to his Scorpio North Node and Uranus. Man done lived a hard fucking life, bro. Then he got Moon squaring Saturn. He probably be dealing with depression and all kind of shit. So I mean, but in terms of what contributed to his behavior the other night, like I said, you have that goddamn Libra stellium to thank for that. In addition to, like I said, him just being a Virgo. He's probably really hard to work with, really hard. He probably got money problems too, which I mean, I guess makes sense, right? And just having a hard time in the industry, especially with his Saturn at that 12th degree of Leo. Okay, I want to get into Nikki's chart. Nikki the Ninja, Nikki the Boss, Nikki the Barbie, Nikki the Harajuku Barbie. I don't even know why you girls even bother at this point. Like, hey, give it up. It's me. I win. You lose. Okay, hold on. Let me get into twin them chart. Nikki. Podcast maybe. If y'all need a podcast, we might can make that happen. We might can make that happen. Venus in conjunction to Chiron, dysfunctional relationships. You need to work on the way in which you kind of like view yourself and appraise yourself so that you can learn to cultivate healthier relationships with other people. Know what I mean? Working on your self-esteem and you highly dislike her. It's a lot of people who don't like. I mean, I get it. I don't like. I can understand how somebody would not like Nicki Minaj, but I'm biased. Why do so many folks hate Asian doll? Let me tell y'all gonna back the fuck up off my motherfucking cuz. Asian doll, that's my motherfucking cousin right there. And she's into occultism. Y'all watch. I'm gonna be her astrologer. And I'm gonna put her on game. The thing with Asian is that as a Sagittarius, she be coming out her mouth saying crazy shit. And we do that. We do that from time to time. Like, some of us like we open our mouths and shit just come out. Sagittarius is just like Geminis, like dark side of Geminis. Their mouths can get them in a lot of trouble. And I think she does that sometimes, but she don't really mean no harm. And I think she does have that mean girl thing going on. She can, especially with her Venus and Capricorn, and I think she's also a Scorpio moon too. She just kind of has that. I can't put my finger on it, but it's okay. It's okay, Asian girl. We're gonna get you together. We're gonna get you together. You gonna learn how to really navigate your alignment so that you can get what you need. Give him. Cause that's like how we all got like our little phase. I'm biased. That's my girl. That's my girl. Ain't no exposing me. Uh, uh, is we gonna fucking not. Rather get my pussy to the and the sun. Bitch, ain't no exposing me. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm pulling up Nikki. I'm trying to find her birth time because there is a birth time for her. Hmm. Posted with little black. Oh. So she was born in 82. Because she's an Aquarius ascendant, but I don't know what time that is. And her birthday coming up too is on the 8th, December 8th. December 8th, 1982, I think. Yeah. What time is that though? Y'all gonna have to give me a minute with the Nikki one because I gotta figure out like all her correct place. I mean her coordinates so I can pull up the right chart. 9:25. Okay, hold on. A.M. Okay, so this is where we at with it, I guess. Hold on. Let me see if I could change the Because what if? Because this says I don't know what Tunisia is, but I typed in Tobago. Megan the Seahorse, Nikki Roman, Polanski. Yeah, Polanski. So what y'all want to talk about as it pertains to Nikki? Because you wanted me to pull up her chart. Hi, Mike. What did you want to speak to? Like, what are we looking at, or what are we looking for? You got me because I've done readings on her in the past, like comprehensive readings. So you let me know what we looking at right now. Ain't nobody care for Nicki right now. Let's do ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky. That's who I don't give a fuck about. That nigga look like a single mom, bro. I don't care. And to be real, I don't care about Rihanna big headed ass either. I do like her music, but as a person, she seemed kind of weird to me. Thinks I'm doing all that and fell out with my closest man. Not your closest man. Like you had other men. Closest man who's a Sag. I'm sorry, baby. I know how heartbreak can go. You know, that's the way love goes. It's okay. You just let yourself feel the emotion. Easier said than done, obviously, but let yourself feel the emotions. Whatever you do not call. Do not answer his calls. If it's over, and let that shit ride out. You gotta let yourself bleed. I think that you should let it burn. Yeah, Libra men can be, yeah, they can be. They can be little closet queens. Port of Spain. Okay, let's try that. Hold on. Port of Spain. Trinidad. And Tobago. Got it. Wait, hold on now. I didn't do something right. Why she a Libra moon now? I'm confused. Oh, because it still say 3 p.m. Hold on. Let me rectify this. Hold on. Y'all said 9:45, right? Yeah. There we go. Now we're back in business, guys. Why so many Sagittarius with Virgo moons? Well, God needed to send some angel to take care of you guys, to look after humanity. And here we are. Her son is so cute. Papa is so cute. He's a kitty patootie. 9:25. Okay, fine. Let me rectify. Hold on. 9:25. 25, 45, 24, 34, 46. Good as she gets. She'll work with. Pretty face with some cute lips. There we go. 25. You still ain't tell me what we looking for. Some unstable fallen angel. It's okay. It's okay. Nikki isn't bisexual. She lied. Yeah. But even with that Aquarius ascendant, like you could even look at that as her leading with that. Like her leading with that bisexual. And when you think about it, a lot of the barbs are they're the girls. They're you know what I'm saying? They're the girls. Like she has a really big queer fan base. It's also depicted with Uranus in this excuse me, this 10th house right there. Excuse me. Yeah, then she got Uranus running parallel to her Mars. So that even explains her name, like Nicki Minaj. Like, you know. So I can see that. Okay, I see that. That's cool, I guess. What else we looking at? Rihanna got a bun in the oven. I heard that. I don't know even if I believe that, but even if it were true, like I said, I just don't care for Rihanna. What aspects make her a good lyricist? Well, number one, that Virgo moon. You know what I'm saying? I always talk about the influence and the prominence of like Mercury or Mercury induced placements when we talk about rappers. So you have like your Gemini, when you see the charts of rappers who may be really good with like punchlines, really quick witted, you got those, you'll see that they have a lot of Gemini placements. But the really good storytellers, okay, the Nas's, the Wale's, the Nicki Minaj's of the world, a lot of them have Virgo placements. So having that Virgo moon makes her an excellent storyteller. And Virgo rules the hands as well. So excellent writer. She also has Mercury conjunct Venus. And Sagittarius can make her a really good writer. Mercury conjunct Neptune. Her writing music, her creative writing on point. Know what I mean? And that's a part of like what gave her like this sound that was so ahead of her time, ahead of its time, especially with all this being in the 11th house. Birdiful. Birdiful. I think her son is in the 10th house, y'all. I don't know about this time. But anyway, whatever. We just gonna ride it out. We're gonna go with it. And then she got Mercury sextile of Pluto. Pluto in her ninth house of publishing. That's also really good. For her being like a really good writer. She's always talking about my pen game, my pen game, my pen game. Let's see. Then she got Gemini in the fifth house. That's somebody who can once again really good with writing. So yeah, I can see it. I see it. These bitches is my sons. Libra men are sus as fuck. Yeah. Y'all know ASAP Rocky Tutti Frutti. He was walking around with Tyler the Creator. Nikki is definitely that, and I'm not even a super barb. Okay, come on, that she is. Sag Sun Virgo was talented. So we are. What can I say? We are an anomaly. We are an anomaly. Placements make her dislike Cardi and Megan. I don't know about Megan because I have to look at Megan's chart again, but I will say in terms of Cardi, I thought it was really interesting that Cardi's Mars and Nicki's Mars are like placements are opposing one another. I mean that can put you just in the direct line of fire to be in combat with somebody. And then I think Cardi's Mars is opposing her South Node. So it's like, I mean, I got to look at the degree because it may not be a direct opposition depending on what degree her Mars is. But point is, uh, Cardi B is a Cancer Mars. Nicki Minaj is a Cancer North Node. I think her relationship with Cardi B is very karmic and teaching her how to number one, invoking that kind of need in her to like either defend herself and defend her reputation, which is also very incumbent of her as a not only a Capricorn South Node, but having that Capricorn Mars. But it kind of is very representative of her in terms of like bringing this issue with her and other women to the forefront. Because that's what all the girls say about Nikki, and she doesn't support other women. As Capricorn North Nodes, or excuse me, Cancer North Nodes, these are people who have like a lot of tough lessons to learn in terms of being more vulnerable, forging relationships with other women. Like those things may not come very naturally to them. And so they have to learn how to do that. And I think Cardi B, the situation that happened with Cardi B was a catalyst to kind of propel her forward on that journey. Although astrology aside, I will say I think it's kind of full of shit. Because NBA, and as much as I love my nigga NBA Youngin, he just got done doing the interview talking about he don't fuck with this nigga. That I don't fuck with that nigga. I'm gonna do that. Well, he didn't say I'm gonna do that nigga bad, but he's just like I don't fuck with none of these niggas and this and that. But then nobody call for male unity. Don't nobody ever call for male unity in rap. Oh my god, niggas be cussing each other out, talking about how my fofo make sure none of your kids don't grow, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Fuck these niggas. I poke, tag them, body bag them, fuck these niggas. And we don't say nothing. But a woman be like, yeah, I just don't fuck with other people. Like I don't fuck with these other female rappers. Like, ah, she's been in the game, but she doesn't support female rapping. Like you have to, in order to be a female rapper, you gotta be Miss Congeniality. I don't like that. Why you gotta support every woman in the game to be a female rapper? When rap is clearly a competitive sport, and a lot of these motherfuckers don't be liking each other. Why we gotta do it? Cause we women. With that Capricorn South Node, Nicki Minaj is a bitch. She got that Capricorn South Node in Mars. She's a bitch. And I'm just of the persuasion that that's okay. Bitch, as long as you good at what you do, be a bitch. But all that fake shit that we gotta like everyone at all times. Shut the fuck up. That's not even real life. And why you gotta do that in rap? Ain't the whole point of rap to be like braggadocious and like whatever? It's okay. It's okay if a woman is not nice. It's okay if she doesn't like other women or if she doesn't want to bring other women up to the top with her. That's fine. Nobody takes the time to trash men for doing that shit the way that they do women. Not to be a bitch. I remember Bia on what's it called, Rap Queens, or she was on that. She's been trying to make it into the industry for a very long time, and she just never really did it for me. She's had a couple songs that I've liked over the years. I never really cared for the whole lot of money joint, but she had like maybe one song that I liked back when she was on that reality show. Oh, Meg. Oh yeah, Meg is a Leo moon. So maybe her moon is in the seventh house. Her seventh house. Maybe it's in her sixth. If it's in her seventh house, that would make sense in terms of her being an adversary, her being the ops. Exactly. Nikki don't have to kumbaya with them. It's a competition, and it's always been that way. But that's the narrative though. Especially when the Nikki hate train started. That was the narrative. The only thing that I'm gonna nail Nikki's ass to the cross for is getting with a rapist, bro, and continuing to associate herself with rapists. That's the only thing I'm not gonna allow the barbs to steer me away from dissecting. Girl, you married a rapist, girl. Nikki is a badass bitch. And she could be with any nigga that she wants to be with. In the industry, not in the industry, anything. Any nigga at any time, any place, anywhere. But you chose, and Kenneth's not even cute. Kenneth looks like a thumb. Kenneth Petty looks like a thumb. He looks like an angry thumb. A thumb with a bone to pick. And I'm guessing it's the memories. She got Gemini in the fifth house. She went to school with him. They grew up in the neighborhood. That Cancer in the fifth house. A lot of these people, you know what I'm saying? They got people returning from their past. They got a lot of history with you. Same thing with that Capricorn Mars, right? They want you. They got history with you, I guess, but I'm not fully understanding that. So maybe she feels like she gets some type of support and even protection from him that she can't get nowhere else. She also likes to control people too. Hence that Capricorn Mars, squaring Saturn, Capricorn South Node. So this is a relationship that she feel like she can control. But I really wish she didn't have that dark sided Capricorn mentality and she would get with the nigga who is her equal. You feel me? Cause it's you embarrassed yourself, ma. She's settled. Well, you got that Aquarius on her ascendant, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's like I kind of feel like she was victimized at some point, and then you take into account, excuse me, her Uranus in the 10th house. Let's see, and what else she got going on? Yep, Uranus running parallel to Mars, so that could deal with her like maybe growing up or associated with rapists, not even really rapists, but pervs more so. I would say pervs. She has what else going on? I also was kind of questioning certain things based on her Mercury hookup, because of her brother. Y'all know her brother went to prison for raping that girl, that literally raping a child. And she, aside from, the fifth house can deal with sex. She got Gemini in the fifth house with Mercury. The 11th house could also deal with pedos and pedophiles. She got Mercury, which deals with siblings, conjoined to Neptune. I don't know if she's ever been touched by her brother before. And this is speculative on my part, right? She also got that Virgo moon in the eighth house, square Mercury. That could also point to some weird shit going on with her brother. I just think it's giving kind of even Stockholm syndrome, which could even be implicated with her moon square Neptune like that. So that's just my theory. That's Megan's theory. My mom's a Capricorn North Node with a Cancer moon. Ooh, we. It's a lot of trauma. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of trauma. It's not really well, it's not really an aspect, but if something like if a planet is because it's based off of like the what do you call it? It's based off of the like horizon, like where each planet is, like on the equator, like if it's above or below. But basically, if a planet is running parallel to another one, you can look at that as a conjunction. Look at that as a conjunction. If a planet is running contraparallel to another planet, that's more so an opposition. Put it like that. I might make a video on that. Ooh, excuse me. Now Nikki got autism. It's not funny, but it's just that's my first time hearing that. That's so random. Um, mm, do I think Nikki could have autism? Let me see. Based on her chart, I mean, Aquarius in the first house kind of can, but I wouldn't say every person with Aquarius in the first house or every Aquarius ascendant has autism. So that's not enough for me to support that theory. I know she does have Uranus forming quincunx to her north node, that Cancer north node, which also could deal with some more weird shit going on with her family. But that's besides the point. It could make her kind of awkward, I guess, but I'm gonna have to sit on that and meditate on that. Because I don't feel comfortable saying that I feel like she could have autism based on that. I mean, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't think so. I'll get back to you on that. I might make a video exploring that theory. That's really my first time hearing that. Not Nikki having autism. Yeah, she not having her Saturn return. Nikki been has it. You had your Saturn uh approaches it reaches its original spot that it was at when you were born every 29 to 30 years. Nikki damn near 40. She didn't have her Saturn return many a moons ago. So that ain't it. Yeah, her quirky eccentric side, she is very. No doubt this could be a lot of this is honestly as a Capricorn South Node, and you could look at this, especially with it being in her 12th house. These are people who identify and they spend so much of their time, especially with her Mars and Capricorn as well, focusing on their career. You know, that's why she's been such a workaholic. And so a lot of times, you know, that's how she defines herself. That's her whole identity, Mars and Capricorn, is her career, is her work, is, you know, protecting her legacy. She doesn't know anything else. But in this lifetime, she needs to place more focus on personal matters. And she kind of got the hang of it at first. But now, I mean, I don't know why the fuck you chose to have a family with the nigga you had a family with, but in theory, having a family, settling down, kind of keeping more of your life, living a more private and quiet life, that's what she's supposed to be doing. But and that's why it created a situation where her reputation, that Capricorn South Node, became under attack because she wouldn't peacefully evolve into that Cancer North Node. Excuse me. Another example would be Beyonce. Beyonce spent a long time with that same kind of mentality, right? Capricorn South Node, workaholic, working, 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 and they can achieve. They can be very accomplished people. But after a certain point, Beyonce said, I'm gonna live, I wanna live life more for my family. You know, whether it be experiencing motherhood, very Cancer North Node, and just living a private life, being about my family. So she'll pop out every now and again, but she's not actively trying to dominate the industry the way that she was 5, 10, 15 years ago. And that's the lesson that Nicki Minaj is learning the hard way. Same thing with Wendy Williams. She's a Capricorn South Node. The bitch can't walk. She in a wheelchair, crippled, hung, laying around, falling out because you've had your time under the sun. From a karmic standpoint, you work, you built so much, but you're supposed to live a more domesticated private life. Whitney need to go sit the fuck down. I'm being forced out of my private Scorpio South Node the hard way, like her. I mean, it's if you're a Scorpio South Node, it's not necessarily needing to be forced out of your private life. It's more so having to learn how to live a life where you're uh, living your life in accordance to standards, raising your standards, up adhering to and upholding standards for yourself, for other people, having to work hard. A lot of people with earth signs on the North Node kind of have to learn that in one way or another. Developing your work ethic. So I mean, it's I can understand as a Capricorn South know how you can live most of your life and it'd be very easy to miss the lesson of your North Node. Because I mean, we live in a capitalistic society for what it's worth. So if you're a Capricorn South Node, you fit right the fuck in. And they were able to yield a lot of positive results from it. Like I said, Capricorn South Nodes can be very accomplished in their careers and shit, but they personal lives be a hot fucking mess. And that's what you need to spend more time tending to as you get older. So it works. I do need more professional help. Yeah, we're gonna get you right. She seemed pressured, like time was ticking to have a husband and kid, being as though she has a bomb career because Sag is so impulsive. They do. I mean, but she was right. She was, if you look at her chart, technically she was on brand. If you, as a Cancer North node, they're put here to experience those things. Now they're also going to come with a lot of challenges, but yeah, she was put here to experience motherhood and whatnot. Same thing with Beyonce. But there could also be a lot of karmic challenges involving motherhood, especially in terms of pregnancy and stuff. So I wouldn't have been surprised if she had a miscarriage. Beyonce had a miscarriage. Beyonce's stomach folded in half on television while she was about 7 months pregnant. But that's besides the point. Oh, thank you. How will this transit affect my Leo sun and moon combo? What transit? Yeah, my mom is a Cancer Venus, Cancer moon. Mm-mm. You also got Cancer on the midheaven. Are you talking about the eclipse per se? Because if you just now get into the chat, like I was saying, if you don't really have like personal planets in Sagittarius, like Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Sagittarius on the midheaven, I personally I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. It may not really impact your life. I know I'm always sounding sick, but I got congestion, like mucus buildup. I'm okay, but I just got mucus buildup like in the back of my sinuses or whatever. But I'm fine. Other than that, I'm fine because y'all know I lost my voice. But it's back and I'm straight. Taurus in the right in the eighth house, you suffering too. Gen Z, Pluto, Sagittarius. Even like with Pluto and Sag, that's not really that big a deal. Like if you don't have Sagittarius on a personal planet, I wouldn't trip about the because mostly the effects of this eclipse, and this is something I wish more people would talk about, but like eclipses in general have more of a collective impact. Like especially when you talk about it in a sign like Sagittarius, I think we'll see it more on a universal level. Like I said, individually now, It could impact you more if you have personal planets, and or like it's falling directly on like a personal planet or some shit. But and even then, as I said in the beginning of the live, that may not even come into effect until months later. You don't feel it right away. Yeah, Black Moon Lilith is not that important. So if you have your Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, this is still not really going. This eclipse ain't gonna affect you like a person who had, Sagittarius on the midheaven or something. I know that's also controversial. The astrology community, y'all love y'all some goddamn Black Moon Lilith. Y'all be not you, but I'm just saying in general. I get a lot of people that I'll be like, okay, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Oh yeah, am I Black Lilith? Cause you look up, I'm like, girl, damn, y'all Black Lilith. I don't give a fuck, and you shouldn't either. Your Black Lilith does not have that much impact on your life and your personality the way people think it do. Steam your face with a bowl of hot water and a towel over your head with some eucalyptus. Ooh, or peppermint oil. I'm gonna try it. Oh, thank you, Problem Fave. I am going to try that tomorrow. I talked about that in the beginning of the on the live. Y'all can rewind it. Was it the beginning? It was like the beginning slash middle. I talked about it earlier. Not your compulsive lying. Well, at least you honest about that. Do you think there's a most challenging North Node to fulfill in his lifetime? In my opinion, I think one of the most difficult lunar nodal placements to have, uh, probably Scorpio. Um, Probably Scorpio, just because you have to get used to living a life that's very uncomfortable. Scorpio North Nodes can live very hard and uncomfortable lives. You know, you're on a karmic journey to learn how to detach from worldly things. You're learning detachment just in general. So I mean, I would say that would be really difficult because what it can do is it can create like a lot of tumultuous experiences, things that are gonna like test your strength. And for many people, that could be like up close encounters with death. Some of these people can have like really bad credit, like financial problems. Like, I mean, they could go through some like Scorpio deals with like high pressure circumstances. A lot of times they have to undergo like crises. Scorpio is a sign of crises. They go through lots of crises, and it on a positive end, it helps them to like be able to better support other people. That's why a lot of like Scorpio North Nodes make excellent therapists and counselors and psychologists, but I don't know, man. They can live like real hard lives. And in some cases I've even seen it manifest in premature deaths as well. She said, not me being a Scorpio North, no. I mean, just look at it this way, it makes you stronger. Now I am stronger than yesterday. Now there is nothing left in my way. My loneliness ain't killing me no more. I am stronger. Come on, stronger. Virgo North Nodes tends to have it kind of hard too. Specifically, if you're a Virgo North Node who struggles with addiction. Like a good example of this would be Keisha Cole's mama. Like Frankie was a Pisces South Node, and that was a uphill battle. Like her whole life that she unfortunately ended up losing. Walking on the straight and narrow and resisting the urge and the temptation to kind of, you know, indulge and shit like that. Even Taurus North knows. You know what I'm saying? I just had somebody in the chat, like you were saying, you a Scorpio South Node, learning how to walk upright and live a life and resist temptation. A lot of Scorpio South Nodes could be criminals, doing shady or shisty shit, have sex addictions or sex demons, and or could be accustomed to like using and abusing people or doing shit that you ain't got no business doing, or just live a life like that could be very painful, and you have to learn how to, as a person, kind of adhere to a value system and just kind of rise above that, you know what I'm saying, and live a life where you're a glaring example of how to overcome and rise above a lot of your lower nature and lower vibrational urges and instincts. But to answer the question, like, I really think having Scorpio on the North Node may be one of the more difficult nodal placements. Yeah, that's good. Having your sun trining your Scorpio North Node, that's good. That could even deal with you. That's like a really good aspect in terms of healing, in terms of, giving you a lot of strength and willpower. I'm tired of being strong. I'm not God's. I'm not God's toughest soldier. I take bad credit over near death experiences. Have you thought about writing a book? Actually, I have. I've been brainstorming about writing a book on Mars. It's just a thought, but you may see more developments on that in the near future. Not your daddy finna beat your mama ass. Aquarius men, Aquarius men can be real. The dark side of ones can be real nasty, real mean, real inconsiderate. I don't know, fam. Shout out to your mama though. Yeah, you better call 991. Smoking weed a lot got me fighting my strong urge for it. Why Mars? Because Mars has, personally, I have a lot of experience with it. And I don't think there's enough information out there on how Mars could really impact us on a personal level. Personally, I have Mars, excuse me, squaring my moon. I have Mars conjoined to my sun. So, I wanna talk about how people can really use that Martian energy for their benefit, how it can show up in our lives, that whole thing, and extrapolate upon that. How it could affect everything from like our parenting styles to, once again, how you look at the world, depending on what is aspecting. I'm glad I caught myself at 17 though, because I was definitely off that Scorpio South No shit juice. Yeah, you gotta be careful, girl. Be careful, babes. Scorpio and Pluto in the 11th house cause issues with friendships, like trust issues definitely, but also situations where it could be a lot of jealousy, lots of jealousy, lots of envy, where you can threaten a lot of people, or vice versa. Leo Sun, Libra Moon, Virgo Rising. Um, I mean, it may take a little bit more effort for you to fully identify with that Leo Sun in terms of confidence. Just because Libra Moons or Virgo Risings can be very insecure. So making sure that you are, um, you know, self aware is important. And hanging around people who really support that Leo energy, the Leo in you, instead of trying to make you second banana today show, or trying to make you, you know what I'm saying, or make you feel like you got to change something about yourself. That's important. Well, it definitely will be coming down the pipe. Um, First songs is gay. That's my boo. The fruity. I mean, I never denied that. He's my birthday twin and all, but the nigga in Aquarius, Mars, and Moon, and I gotta go back and look at this chart, but he has some other shit. Now, that's the case where I think he'll go look at somebody Black Moon Lilith. And I think his Black Moon Lilith is in Aries. He likes niggas. So I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I think he like women too. You know, when you talk about that Scorpio South Node, sometimes a lot of them could have very insatiable appetites for sex, to the point where, like, I've seen that deal with people who can be queer. Like, even when you think about R. Kelly, he was fucking boys just like he was fucking girls. Scorpio also deals with the anus. So a lot of men with Scorpio on the South, a lot of them be liking that booty play. What that booty do? What that booty do? Doing it about out, sexy, sexy. And they be liking to get nasty and shit. And, that's why R. Kelly was pissing on folks. They said, somebody said Trey Songz pissed on them or whatever. And what was the other one? Odell Beckham. He's a Scorpio South Node. A girl said that he requested her to shit on him. Scorpio deals with shit, piss. A lot of Scorpio South, them nasty ass fucking. Ugh. I'm like, listen, I don't even understand. I don't know how, cause I don't like, and maybe it's my Virgo moon, but I don't like bad smells. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like bad smells. I don't like. I know that's also a lot that has to do with me being a Libra ascendant in Venus, but especially when I'm in the act, like, I mean, y'all know how nasty shit stink. Even my own shit, that shit would take me straight up out the. I don't even want to get a whiff of my own shit. I'll not to mention yours. Shit stinks. So the smell don't your dick still be hard and you smelling boo boo. Same thing with pee. Pee smells. It's hot. It's full of acid. Y'all be drinking fucking Four Locos and don't be. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Bits of corn, and you know what I'm saying. You all got all kind of shit in your doo doo. Parasite worms. Y'all know all the kind of nasty shit that be in shit. Mm-mm. And y'all be wanting to. Ooh, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm a Scorpio. I got a lot of Scorpio energy in me. I can't relate. I can't get jiggy to that with that shit. Now, what I will say, like the anal sex, I get it. And it's like people who have anal, engage in anal regularly, especially my girls, especially if I got some girls in this chat, girls, you gotta douche that booty. Douche it out. Okay. You don't agree to have anal sex and you ain't did no enema and cleaned your butthole out. That's crazy. And it's nasty. Crazy and it's nasty. Disrespectful, unacceptable. Even like just pissing, and I don't understand. Like I wish a nigga would piss on me. When I tell you I would grab his dick, you know how like the monkey, you know how strong monkeys are, how they can rip your whole face off. I would turn into Mighty Joe Young. I would grab his dick and rip it off his body in one swoop and shove it down his throat. If a nigga ever pissed on me, cause what the fuck is you doing? Like what is you on? Anal, yeah, anal. I got hemorrhoids, so I can't really engage in that kind of activity at this point in my life. But it's not for everybody. For some people, they like it. Some, it can be very painful initially, but they say you got a lot of nerve endings, especially men. That's why some men like to get pegged. Now, I don't know if I've never had a guy ask me to peg him before. I don't know if I would be willing to, ladies, would y'all be willing to peg a guy? Inquiring minds would like to know. Yes, Mighty Joe Young. Beating on my chest and all that. Like we going straight to the motherfucking zoo. Cause I'ma act a motherfucking animal if a weird shit to me like that. Aspects that indicate a huge phallus on a man. Scorpio Mars placements. Oh, speaking of huge phalluses, I actually have a really good example. I can pull this chart up if you like me to. Would you like me to? I know you like me to. Let me go ahead and do it right now. And I can give you a real life example. A real life, real life. Ah, Exhibit A, little baby. Do y'all see? I scratched a million on my checklist 3 years ago. At 2 zeros, then that we in a different mode. So, okay, here we go. Little baby. I've heard some things about his dick, okay? I've heard some things about little baby's dick. I heard it was nice. I heard it was big and juicy. And I'm not gonna lie, like in certain outfits that because I think he looks like he's missing a chromosome. Little baby look like he got Down syndrome. But ever since I started paying attention to that dick, he's gotten a little bit handsome to me. I'm not gonna lie, okay? Ever since I started paying attention to the zick, the eggplant. So with that being said, let's take a look at what is responsible for the eggplant, shall we? So as you can see, yes, he's a Sag. We get it. He's a whore. Okay, he's a hardcore Sag. December 3rd. He's a whore. Um, his Mars is at the 27th degree of Leo. Now that could deal with him being a bit of an exhibitionist. Especially with a square in Jupiter like that. So that could deal with him having like a sex drive that is out of this world. insatiable sexual appetite. A lot of Sagittarius can be like that too. A lot of us can be real big horn dogs. Talk about that enough. He also has Mars squaring Pluto. That could even deal with him having some sexual diseases. I don't know. You got to be careful with that. Didn't they say Jada Waiter had herpes? But we ain't gonna talk about that. That's not what we get to talk about. This is the jackpot for me. Okay. He has his Jupiter at the 28th degree of Scorpio conjunct Pluto. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's the big dick right there. That's the big dick. That's the big dick. That's the big dick. It can be long and fat. I mean, it also helps that he's a Scorpio North Node. He got his Venus at the 4th degree of Scorpio too. That could also deal with sexually transmitted diseases too. So you got to be careful with niggas like that because he might got something. Sad as other words, I keep attracting my opposite sign. His pictures do him no justice. Little baby look like a retarded llama on perks. Every time I look at him, I just he look every time you see him, he look no matter how much money he got, he look disoriented, discombobulated. He just and in that video, y'all remember that video of him from back in the day where he was doing I think he was at 1079 at this radio station in Atlanta. And he kept twitching. He was like, like his mouth. And I was like, what the fuck? Like his program was glitching. Like the nigga looked crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. He looks fucking crazy. Like there's nothing that's when I look at him and be like, ooh, sexy. But that dick though, that dick. And never mind. I ain't even gonna. I almost violated. It's just the dick. It's the dick, really. It's the dick. It's the dick. He look like he just spawned. Doesn't know where he at. Right. They say he and Jada has herpes. I think he could. I mean, from an astrological standpoint, probably. I never been with a Sag that didn't have a big dick. Jay Z is legendary. Ugh. Well, I've been with a Sag. I had a little sneaky link for about 10 years. He was a Sagittarius Sun, Scorpio Moon, very freaky. He always wanted to fuck me in my ass. If I want somebody to clip to take, I want somebody to take a bunch of like compilations from my live stream and like clip these segments together and take my words out of context. That shit would be crazy. People would be like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" But anyway, yeah, his dick wasn't big. He was just freaky nasty, and you know my ass was nasty right back. But he was freaky nasty, and he had a bunch of bitches. And this is when I realized, and I think I told this story already, but I realized I was so gone. I realized his dick was so good that when I found out that I was a side bitch, I didn't mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not even necessarily that I thought I was his main. It's just you're not really prepared for you to run into a nigga other hoe. But when I ran into his other hoe and I was like, oh, okay. That's 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 dangerous. It's dangerous. I was in the cab and it was a girl who was signing, she was signing everybody into the cab, right? And he had just graduated a year before, and it was homecoming. He was a kappa. Let's say his name was Divine Jones. And she's swiping the cards, everybody getting signed into the cab or whatever. And she's doing it, she's talking to one of her homegirls who worked with her. And she's like, "Ooh, girl, like I can't wait. My man coming to see me this weekend. Ooh, he's so fine and all this and all that." And her friend was like, "Who are you talking about?" And like she said it in a low tone, but right there, like near the register, so I heard her. And she was like, Divine. And like, I just put two and two together because ain't that many fucking Divines in the fucking world. Like, because the way she described it, she was like, "Oh, he coming out of town, like he coming from Atlanta." Like I'm like, okay, the nigga live in Atlanta, Divine. Okay, she was talking about the Greek step show. I'm like, okay, the nigga is Greek. Like I just put two and two together, and I said, wow. And he had just hit me up earlier that week trying to secure his pussy appointment, which I went ahead and I approved the appointment. You know what I'm saying? He was so I mean I just knew it. Like the nigga was making his round. So clearly he hit me up and was like, hey, what you doing, da 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 on on this date, after this, da 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 da. Like I'm gonna pull up on you, whatever. I wanna see you. And he probably did her the same way. He probably went down the goddamn list. He was such a slut. He was a filthy little slut. But my turn with him was fun. And I didn't even say nothing. Excuse me, I just looked at her when she said Devon. I just looked. I was like, damn. I handed her my card. I was like, all right, well, what I'm gonna eat today? Shit, goddamn. We sharing the same dick, so I mean, he wasn't my nigga, so I couldn't do nothing but just accept my fate, accept reality. But yeah, Sagittarius men are a menace to society. Even as a Sagittarius woman, I think excuse me, I was no match. I was no match for this man. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was wild. It was so wild. I never been through nothing more wild in life. And Mars and Leo mixed with Jupiter and Scorpio. Come on, eggplant. You was with a ninja with those aspects. Come on, big Jack. I don't know. But after we get to a certain size, you ain't sticking that up in me. Giving me a goddamn at home, what you call it? What you call it? Heuristic me, whatever. I'm drunk, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hysterectomy. God damn. I need to put the goddamn drink down. Hysterectomy. Giving me an at-home homemade hysterectomy and shit. Sag men and Sag women seem to differ a little bit. The women, and I think a lot of it is like women are socialized to not be hoes. That's just really what it is. Sagittarius women, a lot of us are hoes, but we justify it with our own morals. You know what I'm saying? It's just not favorably looked upon. Men, people say, yeah, keep hoeing, keep doing what you doing. Because I can admit, there was a time in my life where I was a hoe. And I was a proud hoe. And I loved it. And it was fun. Hoeing is fun. But caution, especially for my younger women, you have to know how to hoe correctly. And you have to sit down and really ask yourself. And your natal chart can be a really great indicator. Am I supposed to be a hoe? Everybody's not supposed to be a hoe, babes. If you're being a hoe is a very delicate sport. If you're not supposed to be a hoe, stay on the sidewalk. Get your ass on the porch. Because you can get hurt. Okay? You can hurt yourself out here in these streets, babe. Don't be hoeing. Don't be half-ass hoeing either. Don't be hoeing incorrectly. That can be dangerous. You can ruin your life trying to be a hoe when you ain't got no business being no hoe. But if you are called, if you are one of God's chosen ones, and hoeing is in your path, you see what I'm saying? Then by all means, bitch, be a hoe and be the best hoe you can be, and get you some money while you at it. And say, oh well, niggas don't like hoes. Niggas love hoes. They love us. I didn't retire my whole jersey from goddamn maybe 5 years now, and I still got niggas who knew me when I was a hoe on the sidelines, calling me, texting me, Megan, what's up? These niggas, if I let the streets know today that I decided to be a hoe again, niggas would rejoice and celebrate. There would be parties. You hear me? Niggas love my hoe ass. So I said all that to say, ladies, know who you are. Knowledge of self is critical. There's power in that. Hoeing 101, period. Period. Don't half step with the hoe either, bitch. And like I said, know yourself. Because if you sensitive, if you be caring about these niggas, you be caring about what niggas think about you, don't do it. You will hurt yourself. You will hurt yourself. Don't do that. If you insecure, if you're not really sure who you are as a person, and you just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Cause I done seen too many bitches step in traffic and get ran the fuck over. And even me myself, I went through periods of my life where I had to figure out, because I've always had a very complicated relationship with hoeing, because a part of me, especially as a Cancer South node, like, and having so much Scorpio energy, a part of me has always wrestled with ownership and possessiveness, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and I did reach a point in my life where I'm like, damn, like maybe casual sex isn't for me, because maybe I do catch feelings and maybe this and that. But the more I kind of grow with myself and evolve with myself, and the more that I'm clear with like my north node, my purpose, my path, I embrace it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not actively hoeing right now, but if I ever decide to do so, it is what it is. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with hoeing, ladies. Man, when the D is good, it's hard. My Aries Mars mom just told me this yesterday. I'm glad I'm hearing this because I'm saying, oh damn, we got minors in the chat, y'all. Well, I'm telling you like I would tell a cousin. You're a minor, you're a child, but you know what I'm saying? Life gets real, okay? And you're a young woman. You will be, you're growing, and yeah, yeah. You just got to have a true understanding of yourself and who you are, right? And be safe, because there are, especially at your age, there are a lot of mistakes that you can afford to make. But the operative is you want to make sure you make mistakes that you can bounce back from. So making sure you wrap it up, making sure you're very observant about who you're dealing with. Also, if you want to be a hoe, be a smart hoe too. Don't be fucking like don't do what Trina said and be fucking 5 and 6 best friends. No, dummy, because niggas are dumb and they talk a lot. And then when they get together, guess who's gonna be the topic of conversation? You. You don't want your pussy to bring niggas together to bond like Thanksgiving dinner. Do you want niggas bonding over Thanksgiving dinner over your coochie? Do you want your? I mean, I guess your coochie could unite nations, but it's not gonna benefit you though. You gonna get the short end of the stick because of the patriarchy we live in. They're gonna drag your name through the mud. They're gonna So the way that you do it is, especially if you're young, this is what you do. Because this is what I did, okay? I don't know if you're trying to go to college, but you get you like an older man. Okay, you get you, and look, we're not talking about like a man who could be, because you got to be careful because you're young. And older men do look for young girls, and they look for, younger girls to prey on. This is why I say you got to know yourself and be ahead of the pack, okay? Because you got to use them niggas while they thinking they using you. You got to stick to the mission at hand, girl. Okay, don't be letting these niggas R. Kelly you in these streets. You need to find you a semi-older dude, not too old, but just old enough to have some business and some money, and that's who you fuck. And then you scatter it out. Then you fuck a little coochie over here. Then you sprinkle a little coochie over there. You travel out of town. You sprinkle a little coochie there. You know what I'm saying? And you always fuck with niggas who got shit to lose. That's how you do that. All right? Don't do nothing you don't want to do. No means no. Also be smart. Don't go nowhere with no nigga if you don't know him like that. Don't fuck without protection. So there you go. And just be smart. Use your discernment. If it don't feel right, it's not right. Like I said, don't let nobody pressure you into doing nothing you don't want to do. Even peer pressure. You go with your gut. I won't be doing my dad over here because shit is really crazy in DC right now. Thanks. Cool. Cool. And those are things I wish somebody would have told me when I was 17. Because let's just be real, you're gonna do it. Kids, and these are conversations I would even have with my daughter when she gets older. Because just realistically, that's kids do it. I think about what I was doing at 17. Actually, technically, I wasn't really fucking at 17, but you know, I know what my peers were doing at 17. So, oh yeah, that too. That's why I said setting you up for a train. That's why I said you have to fuck with niggas with something to lose, and a lot of times that's not gonna be college niggas. If you're a younger woman, you can play around and toy around with the college dude, a college guy or two on campus. You don't need to really be investing yourself and your time and your coochie in no college nigga. Like I said, you need to be messing with a nigga with a job, a 401k plan. Now he ain't gotta have no family and be looking for all of that. Like I said, you ain't gotta go for papa and uncle and creepy old man vibes. But just get you a dude who's out of college, a bit more established, has money, who can spend on you, and something to lose, a reputation, something that's important. I wasn't a wild child. I learned from my older sister's mistakes. Then I might be going to a PWI. I don't really want no white boys, but I do want to have a little fun, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Oh, also, bring your own bottles, okay? One of the biggest selling points, and I don't know if they still do it now, but what niggas love to do when I was in school, when we were freshmen, they would love to lure women with alcohol. Okay. And so it'll be parties and kickbacks. And this is before like people really started protesting against rape culture the way they do now. So that's why I said I don't know how prevalent it is now. But back when I was in school, like niggas would be like, oh yeah, we finna get this bitch drunk. Like, hey, what you doing? We got bottles, we got bottles, we got bottles. You don't let no nigga fix you no drink. You don't let nobody touch your drink. You leave your drink unattended and come back. You don't drink that motherfucker. You bring your own bottle. You hear me? And preferably one that you done made your nigga with money pay for. That's what you do. You let the nigga who's funding you, which is the nigga with money, you take all the shit that he done gave you and you flex and you shit on the college niggas your age with it. That's what I did anyway. And niggas be like, damn, like how she get that? Yeah, that way. Yeah. We weren't even old enough to get liquor, but guess what? The nigga I was fucking with got me a big ass bottle of Henny or whatever, whatever. I come to the kickback, nigga. I don't want your cheap ass Taka vodka that your ass done roofie. I got my own bottle, nigga. And his friends asking for some. Bitch, and y'all can't get none. Ew. Ew. You let the nigga with money cash you out, and then you shit on niggas who really can't do nothing for you. That's how you do that. I'm really giving you I'm giving y'all free game. Yeah, watch for the DL. It's a lot of those, especially in DC. They about up there with Atlanta. But that's true. Don't leave your food unattended. Yes, take your own transportation, own vehicles. When first meeting and dating guys, correct. Facts. That too. Don't ever leave nothing to you. You maintain as much control over every and that's a part of hoeing smartly, intelligently. Hoeing the smart way. You leverage as much control over the situation, over every encounter as possible. Hoe, do whatever you want, but make sure it's always on your terms, never anyone else's. Your terms. I'm ready for some fun with my long ass y'all spell. Come on now. Put that Scorpio Jubilee. I feel you. I feel you. Like I said, go for it. As long as you protecting yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because this world is crazy. Niggas are crazy. They don't care about you. They don't care about what, like, protect yourself first and have fun. Period. Objectify these men until you're ready to settle down. Treat men like objects until you're ready to settle down. Treat men like sexual objects until you're ready to settle down. Yep, reliable transportation, all that. You can't wait to get out the projects. Like I can't even be myself. My Cancer Mars, them, especially with you having your Mars and Cancer. You have to be very careful because you attract very violent men. You can attract very violent, and you said your Saturn is in Cancer too. So violent, abusive, controlling men. So you have to, like I said, from day one, enact very firm boundaries. Don't ever move in with no nigga with that Cancer Mars. Never, never. Even when you get a little older, if you got to revisit that, then that's fine. But even then, you got to be careful. But as far as the near foreseeable future, as you enter young womanhood, adulthood, do not be moving in with these niggas. Do not be at these niggas' houses like that. You make sure you vet these niggas thoroughly and do not get your emotions involved with them because you're gonna attract some very emotional dudes. Set your boundaries, your terms, all of that very clear up front. And the minute you see any type of aggressive behavior, emotionally manipulative behavior, you dip and you never turn back. You cut them niggas the fuck off. Yeah, and then you got that 18th degree moon and Venus. Yeah, you need to be careful. It's always about safety, making sure you are protecting yourself, making sure you're mindful of who's in your space, who you're engaging with. Yeah, you got to be careful. No problem. No problem. I'm just happy I can help. I'm just happy I can help. Placements that make you able to handle the whole life. Well, For starters, if you are a Scorpio North Node, boom. A la Meg the Stallion, a la Carisha Brownlee. You know what I'm saying? If you got Venus and positive aspects of Pluto, even Venus and Scorpio, let's see. A lot of yeah, I could say Scorpio Mars placements, depending on how it's aspect, it could handle Scorpio in the fifth house. Okay. Fire signs. Specifically, not so much Leo. Leo women don't, they can be hoes, but when it comes down to it, Leo women want love too bad and they want male validation too bad. So you might need to sit this one out, fam. More so Sagittarius women, Sagittarius placements, um, Aries placements, women with Aries placements. A lot of them is grown ass men, they damn selves. So you might can get away with that too. But if you got like a lot of water, I don't know. Maybe Pisces could maybe like I said, Scorpio too. But like if you got Cancer on the North Node, I don't know. That's them. A whole bunch of Cancer placements. Like I said, it just depends. But you got to be careful, because you could run the risk of getting attached. Even with Libras, like they don't really do well with their whole life. They just don't. So that's why I said I got a toss up of energy in my chart that could go either way. But you know, my mama Aries, she be in here beating the shit out of us. Aries women, Aries, listen, I got a best friend who's an Aries, and she and her baby daddy used to beat the shit out of each other. He's an Aries too. It just used to be like he used to put guns to her head. They used to fight. Like it was crazy. And Aries can get really violent. But point is, if we're talking about like being able to hang in there and like Aries North nodes, that's another really good placement for a Hoa's life. You feel me? Um, it having Aries in the fifth house or something like that. So yeah, they can do really good with sticking and moving. Leos are pick me's. Cancer moon, nah, you might need to stay on the porch, ma. You might gotta stay on the porch, ma. Like I said, I would have to look at your chart in totality because you may have one placement that means you need to stay on the porch, but like based on other things, you could have a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? So it can get kind of complex. Um, but yeah, like Cancer Moon alone, no, I don't know about that. Moon trine Saturn, and I mean that could deal with you being drawn towards older partners. It could deal with having long lasting relationships where there could be a lot of longevity in your relationships that could stand the test of time. Yeah. She said, I'm just gonna stay inside. Well, as long as you know. How do I flirt with men if I'm insecure about my looks? You don't. That's another thing too. If you are not confident within yourself, and that's another reason why I kind of took some time out from the game to work on myself, because that's another thing. A true hoe, a good hoe, a bomb ass hoe is confident about herself. You understand me? You're confident. You know what you bring to the table because that keeps you with the upper hand. A smart hoe keeps the upper hand. You can't keep the upper hand and be out here feeling bad about yourself. You going out sad. If you don't love yourself, if you have, and we're human, most humans do have at least certain, like, more like one or two fleeting thoughts when it comes to insecurities. Nobody's perfect. But if overall, if that's what dominates your experience and the type of relationship you have with yourself, that's a sign you need to stay your ass on the porch, fam. You need to go inside, go cover up and eat some soups and watch TV. And you leave this whole life, you leave it up to, you know what I'm saying? You leave it up to the real ones. And let the real soldiers do what we do. And hope and peace. Because you need to be confident. Or else you're gonna get ate the fuck up and spit the fuck out. Cause niggas are grade A gaslighters. Niggas will try to make you, you know what I'm saying, lower your worth. The world in general will try to beat you that, like, nah. Nah. You gotta so the first thing you gotta do with that is work through those insecurities. If it's something you don't like about yourself, change it or learn to accept it. But you're gonna have to deal with it. If you do ever give out birth chart readings, please let me know. I do. Just email me. I'll drop my email in the chat. And I'll send you my price sheet. You said somebody said look at Meat's chart. I might make a video on it. I'm not really interested in reading Too Short's chart. Amira the Great is correct. Gemini, that's another really, really great, successful hoe. Geminis can be some very successful hoes. Venus and Gemini, excellent. Superb. Master the art of detachment. Beautiful. Love it. They make wonderful hoes. Some of the best hoes around in town. Aquarius, too. He said, you got your Venus and Gemini. Cancer Mars women be low key starting fights with our partners just to lead the sex. I love Aries Mars. Aries girl, you better be careful. Cancer Mars women make me nervous because I just be feeling like I just know the type of men y'all attract. It's just be careful. But Cancer Mars women can be very sexual. I notice a lot of Cancer Mars women can also be into other women as well. Geminis are mean hoes. And you got your Venus and Gemini. You like women, Galaxy? I don't play with men because I'm insecure. I was just curious about what you think. I have been peeping the beast, and they ain't got nothing to do with me. So I just stay up out the way. I don't really. I was talking to Galaxy. I was more so talking to Galaxy because she also had that Venus and Gemini. Um, yeah, but yeah, I just stay out the way because they ain't got nothing to do with me. And you know, and I don't really fuck with what you call it, no way. But the thing is, I actually like women breasts. That's very Cancer Mars. That's interesting. But I've never explored women in relationships or dating. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I like breasts too. Like I like women's breasts too. But that's very much that Cancer effect. Well, you gotta do, like I said, you're still young, so as time goes on, you'll work through it. You'll work through it. It's about learning yourself first and foremost. That's the first rule. Learning yourself, understanding of who you are. How do I respond if a man flirt with me because I'm shy, girl? The game is to be sold, not sold. Because I mean, it's hard for me to answer that question because it's not really a formulaic like ooh, he say this you because it varies because I don't know because I'm liable to say anything out my mouth. So I don't know, girl. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You got to do what comes natural for you. Everybody don't have a mouthpiece. Everybody don't spit game. You got to do what comes natural for you, especially depending on how the man comes at you. Hopefully, he come at you like he got some sense and just initiates regular conversation to which you would just engage him like you would a regular human being. Ooh, yeah. Yes, girl. I was saying how I enjoyed my birthday. Like, I had so much fun. I got me a hotel. I had me a little company. Like, I had me a good time. It was fun. I went clubbing. My birthday was everything. So then, I just need a. So the hood chick come in this chat with that all the time. I tell men I've always been married. Leave yourself know. This lifetime is for me. Come on now, for you to have a there you go. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you could call it what you want. I say it to be kind of tongue in cheek. But that's why I say Aries North Nodes can't afford to be hoes in this lifetime too. They can't. You're not comfortable, just punch their ass and fight because men tripping. Well, no. I gotta stop you there, niece. Don't be fighting these grown ass men. You get you a gun, and if you feel threatened or in danger, you fire their ass up. Don't be fighting no grown ass man now. Because these niggas do not care. And they is out here killing women and fucking their asses up. Hey Marie, I haven't forgot about you. I'll get it to you tomorrow. Because I had a lot of readings to get out today. So I got you. You'll get it tomorrow. And I'll also email you to remind you as well. Ooh, my throat hurt. No problem. Yes, please cover off there. Uh-huh. Well, no, do not fight men. I would never recommend fighting men. That's not smart. How are we supposed to know when we have our first Saturn return? Some folks say 26, 29. It's based on your degree. So like if you look up any type of Saturn, because you there are websites where you can calculate your Saturn return. You can pull up your Saturn return chart. It's based on whenever transiting Saturn is like conjunct, it's making an exact conjunction to your natal Saturn. So technically you can feel, I mean, you could feel the effects from the time that Saturn enters the same sign as, your natal Saturn, but your official quote unquote Saturn return, like to the exact date, won't happen until those degrees line up, basically. No, you're fine. Some Scorpio women be scary as fuck. I don't be wanting no parts. I make your peace and then dip. You work at Starbucks or something? I got two A's in me. Yeah, yeah, you need to stay away from Scorpios. Absolutely. I heard Starbucks was a good place to work for, actually. Once the conjunction is over, is the Saturn return done? Nope. Like I said, you'll still feel the effects of it the entire time Saturn, transiting Saturn is in your, you know, in the same sign. Honestly, some people say, and it just depends, but some people say they still feel the after effects of their Saturn return up until they're like 31 or some shit like that. So it just depends. But, your exact Saturn return is a very specific window of time. Or the baby, oh, my baby she's fine. You mean that grown woman, honey? She is doing fine. She's doing fine. So, anything else we want to talk about? Because I'm getting tired. As a cat rides inside, I can suck it. Working at a coffee shop can be stressful and overwhelming at times, but I love it. Well, that's good. You good, boo? Gemini Sun, Trine, your Libra and Chiron. Yeah, because it can make you very charismatic. You can do really well in terms of like dealing with other people, having very public facing jobs. That could do really well when it comes to like public speaking. What do you call it? What do you call it? My brain just went blank. Public relations. That's what I was looking for. Public relations. And that's also like a really good aspect in terms of somebody who could like marry like their childhood friend or something like that. Um, It can do you can do really well in situations where you're able to attract people um who you match up with or where you're intellectually compatible with, friendship wise, romantic relationship wise, historical figures, Holocaust. Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this live up. Easy E. I guess I'll do one on him eventually one day. I'll put that on my list. But I'm about to head out though, because I'm tired. Cause I'm tired. Truth is I'm tired. Options are few. We've been online for how long? My throat starting to hurt too. I feel like I've been on this mud for a long periodically time. Oh yeah, 3.5 hours. I'm gone, y'all. I'ma holler at y'all later. Love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Good night.